All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm doing an impromptu live stream. I was watching Karen B, and she had to go, and I was like, "Hey, y'all want me to stream?" And people were like, "Sure." And so I'm starting this up. I was trying to compress a video for a song that my friend Blair wrote and Conspiracy Music Guru sang. It's like one of my favorites. So I was going to open with that, but you know what? Jaren is streaming now, and I was like, "Oh, great! What timing?" So for now, I'm just going to feed that into here and catch up in case anybody missed the start. So let me share screen real quick and show you his stream, or just jump over there and see if I'm still streaming whenever his is done. Either way, let's go here. We'll do this one and share with audio, share it up, and back to here. All right, let's watch this for a little bit, and then I'll be back.
All right, I think we're live. It would be cool to infrared camera distant mountains from the dry, flat Antarctic. I will do that. I'm about to show you that. I'm about to show you that's my camera right there. I don't know if you can see it sitting in the middle of the ice. Infrared camera. So what's up, everybody? There's the sun. Hope everybody's doing well. We got a nice night's sleep. Got a shower in. We actually feel like human beings again. But we do have a little bit of bad news. Please show how you're verifying direction. So it wouldn't matter. I'll just point that out real quick. If that was north, or that was north, or that was east, or that was west. Because the sun, since we've been here, has just done this. That sun will just do this. That's all it does. So I can show you what direction we are looking at. If I've got I think I gave it back to the guy. I was gonna say I have a South Pole compass, but that's the one I showed yesterday. Anyway, what we're gonna show right now is the sunspots, and we hope that people at home can take pictures of themselves so that we can verify sunspots together. So if you are somewhere, please get your camera and solar filter out, and let's do some sunspot observations together. So we got some good news. Other people might consider it bad news. We consider it good news. Yes, we can verify direction. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean, but you mean if a compass isn't good enough, we already showed you a compass. So how do you want me to verify direction? There's no penguins here. If the penguins were here, what would they eat? There's no bugs here. There's no flies. There's no ants. There's no lice. There's no mosquitoes. There's no anything. So how could there be penguins here? What are they going to eat? The penguins live at the coast where there's fish. So there's no fish here. Anyway. Oh yeah, sellout. How do you think I feel when the flat Earth community calls you a sellout for being honest with your observations? I think that's a good look for you guys. Yeah, good look. So what the flat Earth community would appreciate is if I came here and lied to you. That's what you guys want. It's pretty embarrassing. That's what it is. So anyway, the good news, bad news, depending on how you look at it, is we found out that the weather is about to turn bad. And we were told that if we don't leave tomorrow, that we're going to be here for another 5 days, which we will absolutely not stand for. I gotta get the hell out of here. So we are leaving tomorrow, as of right now. That's the plan, is to leave tomorrow instead, a day early, because the weather's about to get really bad. They say they get about 2 or 3 storms a year, and this looks like the first one they're going to get. It will start on Wednesday, and so the pilot doesn't want to fly in on Wednesday or fly out of here on Wednesday. So they want us to leave tomorrow if we want. Or take our chances, at which point we could be here past another 4 or 5 days, which would mean we wouldn't get home till after Christmas, and none of us want that. We've got plenty of good footage. Duffy has with a Insta360, he did a complete 24-hour video, not a 24-hour time lapse. He did a 24-hour video that was a terabyte. Terabyte, right? We're gonna need that. So we're gonna need that. That's Duffy, by the way. So anyway, we're gonna go look at sunspots right now. Put this out. I'm in the relegated smoking section, which is quite large. Let's head over this way. Say hello to everybody. What up? I want to show you the plane that we're about to take. We take off at 2. Look at this truck. What a monster. Do you see this truck? This is no green screen. This is real life. I'm freezing my fucking ball around. Come on. Dink, there around. Come on. Dink, there we go. Let's go. Let's go check it out. So, I mean, what's crazy is you can't even tell what time it is here because every time looks the same. The only thing that happens is that when that sun goes behind that mountain, so that sun ropes around here, and last night, once it goes behind the mountain for about, I don't know, it's probably behind the mountain 2 hours, it does get really, really cold. Luckily, we were in the tent sleeping at that point. All right, so we're gonna take some sunspot observations. Is what time? So we start, it's 11:46. Wait, sorry. It's 1:46 p.m. That means it's 11:46 Eastern time. Correct, 11:46 Eastern. So we're just trying to all get sunspots at this exact same time. I saw you put out a video talking about getting sunspot observations right now. Yeah. That's funny, that's what we were thinking of doing. Huh? So that's funny, that's what we were thinking of doing right now.
Okay, great.
So we're gonna get some.
We have to go right now to get on the plane.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna take a couple shots.
Okay, amazing.
People are doing it at home for right now.
Okay, thank you.
I already predicted that that's the La Bamba ending. All right, let's go. We don't have much time. We'd have to get on that plane, supposedly. And I'm not a big fan of small planes, but I'm gonna do it. They didn't like the idea of me being the only one not going with them. So we're all gonna go. God, I can't get this open. Come on. Oh, I gotta take my glove off, freeze my fucking ass off. Come on. All right, here we go. Now, I doubt you'll be able to see very well, because I can't see. That's the other thing. Oh, and about the whole green screen thing, I mean, just so you know, Duffy was so upset at himself, because he always uses that same laptop to do his live streams, and he always uses a green screen, and because none of us can see our own screens when we're here, it's too bright, he didn't notice that the green screen was still on, and then when Jonathan came up to speak, he had green on, and so all of a sudden that green spot became see-through, and you could see the TFE logo behind it, so Duffy felt like shit, but there's no green screen. Like I said, I wish the sun set, I really do. It did not. All right, let's check it out. Let's see. We're gonna get some shots of we got my solar filter on. We're gonna turn this up this way. Are we on? On, there we go. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna take my glasses off a little bit. Jeez, I can't see shit. Okay, hold on, let me get this lined up on the sun. Get right in the middle. Okay, and this is infrared, but it's got the solar filter, so. I'm just trying to get lined up first. See, that's about the center. Can you even see what I'm doing? Probably not, because you're getting the same glare that I am. About there. Okay, here we go. Come on. I don't see any sunspots. Oh, yeah, I do. Can I take a couple pictures right now so we can compare? I'll be right with you. 1 second. It is it's 40 plus 9 plus 10. So it's 150. It's 11:50 Eastern. I'm taking these sunspots. From what I can tell, I just see a couple sunspots on the left side. But it's hard to see with the glare. I'll have the GoPro camera on for the flight.
Ring a ding ding, we're doing it again.
I'm just taking sunspots. Do you have your camera with solar filter or no?
Oh, I left it in my tent.
Don't worry about it.
Because we have to go.
Yeah, I know.
Supposed to be there like now.
If you guys leave without me, I won't be upset. I know that. Guys, just remember I predicted this is where it all ends, so. Not a fan of La Bamba planes. Not a fan. But I do want to see a bigger view. There. Okay, so I've taken a bunch. But it is the sun. I mean, there's no way that's not the sun. Okay, I've taken plenty. I lost the sun. Oops. Keegan? Hey, can you check my settings real quick? Just tell me what I'm looking for to get the sunspots I can. People are taking it at home as well.
Okay.
This is the infrared though, the infrared P900. Right. So I've got 125 f8. What would you change it to?
I need to see the screen, especially with it being infrared.
Okay. You might have to get a little bit more lined up there. 1 minute. That's McKeegan. No, we did do a 24-hour. We just told you that Duffy did a 24-hour. Let's go, guys. Gotta go. I'm just gonna grab my GoPro.
I need to have a bit more of a play with it, mate.
Okay, we'll do it when we get back. The sun's not going anywhere. Is it gonna set?
No,
a little
but it's
bit.
more the clouds are starting to roll in.
Might set in a little bit, right?
Oh, well, you never know.
All right, we're gonna turn this off.
I thought you were leaving.
No, no.
Alright, well, she's going to grab Austin, so we gotta go.
Okay, I have to take this back to you anyway.
Don't break your camera again.
I would never break mine. I'm really careful with my stuff. Just break Austin's stuff. If you have a P1000, P900, please just take as many sunspot pictures today as possible. Yes, exactly. Good point. All right, we're gonna go put this back in the tent.
You're grabbing your GoPro, right?
And I'm gonna grab my GoPro. Tell them I'll be there 1 minute. Okay, so we are heading off to the Ellsworth Mountains on that plane, and that's about it. But thank you for going. It is not fun, and we actually celebrated when we found out we'd be leaving a day early. Austin made for this. I'll tell you that right now. If I've got to give a little bit of my man card back because I don't like a place like this, I'll do it. John, you having fun?
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, we're heading out. See you guys in a little bit. Will you just grab my GoPro? Thank you. Got it. I think I got good battery on this left. All right, we're heading off. Should be fun. Too bad we can't live stream from there. But I'll have footage of it. Do I want to take the infrared? I think I'm going to take the infrared camera too. I think about it. Let's take both. So we'll take the GoPro, take some shots of that, and I'll take some infrared shots. We're ready. We're coming. We're coming. Austin, put this in there. Oh, just, I'll get it. Don't back up. You'll be injured. All right, anything else from there? You good? All right, we're ready. Who's flying? All right, it's not his first time?
No, yeah,
We had somebody practicing driving the orange thing yesterday. Like, hope we're not getting any practice sessions on the fucking Lubamba plane. All right, so we're all lined up here. We're gonna go get on this plane. Mavi, Daddy loves you. Be a good boy. Take care of your mama. Miss, I love you. Be a good girl. Take care of Mavi. And I'll be back soon, let's hope. If not, it's been fun. Much love to y'all. See you after the flight. We out.
All right. Got it. Got that streamed up real quick. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning. Good morning.
You sound good. How do I sound?
You sound perfect. Yeah.
Nice, nice. I see Justin down below and Matt. I want to check y'all's audio real quick.
Yeah, how am I sounding?
Say what, Matt?
How am I sounding? Am I coming through good?
You could be louder, maybe closer to your mic, or I can boost you a little bit. Say something else.
Check.
Yeah, I'll just boost you a little bit. So you're good. And then I think my buddy Justin's not going to be able to speak. But anyway, Grand Rising. I started this stream because Karen B had her coffee talk show on, and then she had to like go and run pick up her daughter. And I was like, hey, I'll just stream, and made the thumbnail real quick on Hanvey, which took me a minute. And then I was working on Blair's video, the one that CMG sang on. I was going to have it be my intro video, but I was like, you know what? Jaren's live. I'm just going to stream that while I let people roll in. And I hear Sov's on his way over, because I think it's important right now for all of us to talk about what we're thinking, analyzing our idea of like what's even going on out there. And yeah, welcome y'all and anyone else. I'll drop the link again in the chat if you want to just come up and say hi or share any thought you have on flat earth, biblical cosmology, the Antarctica trip, anything. As long as it's not toxic, you're welcome to come up and share. So Matt or Sam, do you have to leave soon? Because I'll let y'all go first.
No, I'm good. I'm all good.
Okay.
I have
Matt,
plenty of time.
Okay.
Time. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Matt popped in first, so go ahead, Matt. What's on your mind?
I don't really know. I'm thinking a lot on all of this. It still doesn't change my mind of where we live. one thing that actually I've been questioning this entire time is, uh, if it was so easy for Jaron and Austin to go down and catch a 24-hour sun, then why did the Globers have to fake it, like 6 years ago?
Yeah.
There were so many fake 24-hour sun videos, and then now we have this. I don't really know. I mean, I know we've, debunked the, curvature formula, so I, I don't really know.
Well, Matt, have you heard the thought/idea that these videos of the 24-hour sun being like edited and seamed together, and the break in the video could maybe be a setup for this whole thing,
Yeah,
like the long game?
yeah. I mean, you know, I've personally met Austin before, and I've talked to Jaron several times through the years. I don't think they're dishonest guys. I don't think that, they would be paid off shills. At this point, man, my hands are up in the air on this one. I've been watching this other guy, this Dr. Lindsay guy, that shows somehow of how there could be like the second projected sun in the south, but to wrap my head around that, I'm still kind of
Yeah.
going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's all interesting. I know Joe Hanvey, my friend, has done some modeling and some observations, and then Shane, he took what Walter Bislin basically put out to make fun of flat earthers with the bendy light lines, and he just took out the garbage and put up the good data, because it's just time and date data from when the sun arises and sets in all locations for all people, which really it displays well our azimuthal grid of vision, which some people, they don't understand that. New to the game, they're like, what do you mean there's like a perspective dome or bubble over us that we all carry around with us because of our own perspective? And it's as simple as this. If I went outside right now and it's nighttime and I looked up and I got a huge view of the night sky, I'm seeing more, like about half the night sky where I'm at. And it's the same thing, like a planetarium for my spot on my front yard would show that, and walking outside shows that. And it's all optical, it's all perspective. Even though the town I'm in is tiny, and I'm able to see a huge amount of the sky. That's how they invented the globe, where the stars present to us, and like sunrise and sunset. All that's due to optics and perspective. And a lot of people can't even understand, well, how can you have nighttime and daytime cycles on a flat Earth? Well, it's because of the attenuation of light. The sun, it appears to rise, get to the zenith, and set, and it takes its light with us. But in my opinion, the source sun never changes height, or if it does, it varies just a little bit. Like you get the analemma, if you've ever looked up the analemma.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of this is all humans were programmed from birth. All of us, when we were little kids, heard about the heliocentric model. It's not even 500 years old. Nicholas Copernicus' idea on it. For all of human history, all the people groups had, the dome covering and, stationary topographical plane Earth. And they want us to be like, well, no, you got to trust the science. The science has discovered light years and all this stuff. But really, to me, it's materialism, and it's man and man's ego wanting to say, I know what the heavens are. I know the distances to these luminaries. I know the temperature. I know their chemical composition. It's just this big game of I know it all, and you have to trust me. And I'm just a humble guy saying, the creator knows. I don't know, but let's try to figure it out. But anyway, I'm going to ask Sop to say something real quick, because I know he's been running streams too. Do you have any opinions before we go to Sam on all this? Oh, you're muted, or I'm not getting any audio.
I got it. I was muted here. There we go.
No, thank you.
I'm extremely disappointed in the fact that we are only relegated to McKeegan's 24-hour thing. We're only relegated to Will Duffy's. I thought that the flat earthers were going to go down there and film the 24-hour sun. They had a time lapse set up on Rumble the other night, and I started watching it. And I was like, okay, they were letting it run 24, right? And I thought, okay, cool. I'm going to go to bed and let this play out. And then in the morning, what I'll do is I'll play it at 5 times speed, so I can really see the sun carrying the mail across the sky, really see that movement, right? I get up and I hit play, Nothing happens. I hit refresh on the screen and I get a 404 page not found error. Why was that taken down? Where did it go? But on the bright side, these guys believe. Now, this is what I'm supposed to go with, that these guys, McToon and the rest of them, they all believe that they have proven that the Earth is a globe, right? Well, that's good, because that means that they will never have a reason to make another video again. They will have nothing. They've proven the Earth is a globe. They can shut up now, right? There's no reason for them to make any more videos. If they do, that means that they do not believe that they have proven the globe. The prosecution doesn't continue to make their case after the jury has made a verdict, right? So bye, Toon. Bye, Keegan. Bye, all the rest of you guys. Have fun with your wobbling space testicle. Be good with that.
Yeah, bro, there's a lot of wild stuff. I mean, I can't remember the video. If I can find it in a minute when you guys are carrying on conversation, I'll look for it. A guy was talking about how if there's a circling sun and they took a video of it. Let's just say that you had two cameramen 6 feet apart, right? If the person to the left was recording for 24 hours and they were tracking the sun and it was the Earth that was moving, the cameraman to the right would come into view in the way and go over to this side and come around to this side. But I believe what you would see is two camera people staying in the same position, tracking the sun, moving around. It would prove that the sun is moving, not the Earth. I'll try to find that. And then just for feedback, Jaron said that he captured it and got the whole thing, but he was clicking on the camera and trying to get it to stop. I hope it recorded properly. Will Duffy said he got it. It's a terabyte in size. I'm just hoping that as this thing unfolds, you know how we are as truthers. We're going to look into it. We're going to analyze it. We're going to dissect it. We're going to look at sunspots. We know Austin from the Melodome has gotten tons and tons of sunspot pictures. We're going to look at what they say they found down there. Now, one thing that bugs me, this is just coming from my heart. When Will Duffy said, hey guys, go to thefinalexperiment.com and send in all your pictures, send in everything you got from all over, I think that's so they can fabricate the sunspots that they need to match what everybody's gotten, which I don't know that that's true or not. I'm not calling him dishonest. I'm not saying that I know. The feeling was my feeling was when Austin Whitsitt landed, I wanted him to send pictures of the sunspot immediately so we could start comparing what Austin Melodome was getting immediately with no delay, because the more delay there is in analyzing, the more quote unquote ability to fabricate they would have.
Well, I was looking at this idea too, that, okay, you've got the ability to film these sunspots. Awesome. Here's what would be really cool. Film that 24-hour sun with the sunspots and let's see that sucker wagon wheel around the sky, because that's what it should do. It should be, and with their 24-hour moon too, we should be able to see that thing do a wagon wheel all the way around them, right?
Right.
There would be something.
Let me hit Sam up real quick, and then we'll welcome Howard Porter to the panel. Sam, I didn't mean to skip you. Go ahead, bud.
No, even if someone have to go really early, they can go ahead of me, so that wouldn't be a problem. I can wait patiently, so let me know.
Okay. Your camera's frozen up, but we can hear you.
My camera is frozen.
Yeah, on my end. You might have to drop out and join again. While you're doing that, drop out and join again. I'll let Howard go.
Perfect.
Hey, how y'all doing this morning? Hey, Saul.
Hey,
Ron.
what up?
I wanted to say, didn't Jaron mention that the sun was going in the wrong direction?
I'm wondering if you've seen Joe Hanvey's model yet, because I can show this in a minute about, okay, if the sun runs its circuit, like we always know, like on Dave Weiss's app. And one thing I want to clarify, when you look at Dave Weiss's app and you see the sun circling clockwise, that is from a top-down view of all of creation, if you will. And if you had a top-down view of all of creation, Joe Hanvey shows where he moves the light perfectly in the clockwise position, but from the top down view, it would be a counterclockwise position in the south. And this is almost like a mind screw, like, rub your belly and pat your head type of thing, because when they're in Antarctica looking up at it, I think it's like confusing, you know what I mean? Because if you're looking top down on all of creation versus being there, those are two different rotations.
I got you.
And if you want to see that, I'll pull it up real quick.
Yes.
It won't take long. Give me a second.
So I guess the question I'm asking is, if it is in a rotation in a circular coordinates, how can they see it? I know. So if that would be in a reflection then, if it's going the opposite way. So, because he did mention it, I think he mentioned it twice. He said it's kind of weird because it's going in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's going right to left instead of left to right. And I was like, what? And I was like, Pebbles, go back and I want to hear that again. And so it was alive, so I had to wait, and we went back, and yeah, he's like, but it's kind of weird because the sun's going in the wrong direction. It's going from left to right.
Right.
I wanted to bring that to the panel's attention and see what y'all thought about it.
All right, here's the video. So in your mind, know that there's a dome on his table, and he's going around clockwise. If you're looking at it from the top down, here.
Once I get the superfluid built better and do the whole dome setup better, I think it's going to work even better than this. But you can clearly see a 24-hour sun, and right there, so that's west. This is coming back around south. That's east, coming back around north, then west, and back around south. That would be the midnight sun rising in the east, coming around behind the camera in the north, west, south. So you can clearly see it works. And you don't even see the source sun. You only see that apparent sun. And you can clearly see it's going west, back around south, east, north behind the camera, west, furthest point south, east.
All right, I'll drop that real quick. So in my opinion now, like, this is just where I'm at. I haven't freaked out at all. None of the lead up to the final experiment, while they were there and even after, I'm choosing to maintain calm and let truth rise to the top. Investigation still has to happen on the footage, on the shots they took. I mean, we haven't really seen much as far as data or data points to be able to analyze. And I know right now the Globe friends of ours are like, victory, you suck. And they're like all heated and aggro and angry and like trying to slap us around. But the truth of the matter is, what's going on outside is reality, and it doesn't make me nervous. Like, what's outside I love. It's beautiful. Some people call it Mother Nature. I call it, the creation of the Father above. He made this place for us to enjoy. So I'm not tripping out on what some other man believes about it. I mean, we all know that the heliocentric model on its face doesn't work. There's so many holes. And when you start to investigate relativity, when you start to investigate Michelson-Morley, you're like, oh, whoa, I didn't know that aspect of the story. And I mean, I send people to Ether Cosmology all the time, and Space Audits and Witsit's channel and Schooling Glober and Sov. I mean, all of us are really in this for truth, not to be right. And we're in it. I'm in it to bring people together in peace, to talk about these things, not divide. But we live in a world there's so much division injected into the system to where if you don't think exactly like me, I'm supposed to hate you, cut you off from my life, and you be my enemy. But then the truth of the matter in my heart is you're my brother or you're my sister. Just because you have a differing view on religion or creation, it doesn't mean we're enemies. It just we need to talk it out. And back in the day, people, I mean, it's called philosophy. People would philosophize, talk about it, ponder, meditate, wonder, talk about it. And I don't think they got near as toxic as we do today on it, because like I said, they're programming us to get this way. But I think somebody else joined, and then we got to go around the panel to see what folks are thinking. So anybody want to go after all that I showed of Joe's little model, and then also what I just said? Anybody just go for it.
I can go, JT.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I mean, from my perspective, I would say, like, I never expected one thing or the other. Like, I I was open-minded to, or humble enough to understand that I don't know what's going on in creation at the moment. Maybe something more complex that I imagine. So I didn't have any expectations, and shout out to Cosmology. All the guys there were very calm. At the moment, no one was freaking out and saying, "Oh, what are we gonna do now? Should we turn to concave Earth now that our model doesn't work?" and stuff like that. It was the opposite. Everyone was still very calm and collected and trying to wait for the data. Well, and at least for me also as a researcher, you first wait for the data. When you have the data, you make a hypothesis, and then you test that hypothesis. I mean, you can come with hypothesis before coming to the data, but then you need to first and foremost be understanding that if you have expectations, you need to still accept reality, what is happening in reality. That's and then try to explain reality. So I think it's very cool when we hang there and we talk and discuss what could things be in a calm manner. There is no need to freak out. I don't understand why people would make comments about some of the guys, like they're like Witsit, for example, like doubt his integrity or stuff like that. Like, we haven't seen him for years and we have interacted with him. It's like an honest person, an honest truther. I think realize that we are here for looking truth, not to prove that we are right in whatever hypothesis will come to mind, in one thing or the other thing, flat or concave or anything. So be open-minded enough, be respectful enough. There is like people actually going to Antarctica to get this data for us, and we should be grateful for it. And well, I put my money where my mouth is, so I support every endeavor that everybody has taken, and in the pursuit of truth. And I wanted to, give a little bit of shout out to Shane, because like last night we were looking at his model. Kat, she was explaining to me her idea about how everything works down there. And like, if you go and play with his actual model about how everything works, I mean, I can share it real quick to you and like show you. Like, if you use his model, you can see that it's predicted on the normal maps that we have about day and night. The shadow goes around the Earth, and in our personal dome, we never see the sunset. So I think the model always at work in a way. So it was predicted in his model that was made a long time ago when he made his corrections. You were calling it out before the first creator, and then Shane make some modifications about it. And it's like we already have some data, and I think we let our expectations to get ahead about the reality. And I understand some people are very emotional about this, but you cannot deny reality, right? And if reality doesn't match what you expected, don't blame the people then saying they're lying and stuff like that. Like, do you understand what I mean? Like, we need to have some ground rules. So we're here seeking truth. We're not here trying to push one agenda in one way or the other way.
Well, Sam, I got some of the best ground rules for that, and I always share this, right? Keep your damned emotions out of it. Okay.
Absolutely.
First off, this is the biggest problem I'm seeing in this whole thing. There's too much emotion. The second component, and let's get real, this is what took us down this deception in the first place, okay, was our fifis. First of all, because we're worried if somebody's going to call you a name or say you live in your mother's basement or some other crap like that. They use this right here, the emotion. Get out of the emotion. Go with facts. Be a freaking Vulcan when it comes to that, right? Now, I'm friends with Jared. I like him. I like Witsit and everything. I got to throw all that out the window. Stop dealing in a perception deception. Stop looking at the personality and look at the information. That's all that's important here. It doesn't matter if they sent 5 guys down there that none of us even know. Only thing that's important is what we get, the objectiveness of how we get it, which I'm not seeing much objectiveness right here. I'm really highly disappointed. I haven't seen shit from the flat earth side. Okay. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use the S word on here. I know, but that just makes me madder than a wet hen right there. If you're going to go down there and do what you say you was going to do, go down there and do what you said you was going to do. Take some damn speed or something if you have to stay up. Don't let it, oh, well, I'm going to go to sleep and let McKeegan do it. I'm going to go to sleep and let McToon do it. Okay. That's bunk right there. So get out of the personalities and get out of your emotion. Look at the data. That's all that's really important. And worry about who's a shill and who's that. Listen, this is how we got here in the first place, because we trusted people, didn't we? We trusted our teachers. We trusted the scientists. We trusted Mr. Bobo on TV because he had a little fucking bow tie and shit and told us some stuff. And he was all cutesy about it. Stop that. That's a perception deception. Take the information at face value and analyze it. And that's all we can do. There's too much emotion and personalities and shit involved in this. But one good thing, if these guys feel, if Toon and them feel like that they've proven the globe, that this is proof of the globe, then they can just shut up now. They don't need to make any more videos, do they? Because they've proven it, right? Now, if they continue to make videos, what's that going to tell you? It's going to tell you that they don't believe it was proof of a globe either. Otherwise, they wouldn't have any reason to continue.
Man,
people are really having a hard time using logic.
Pebbles made a good point this morning. She said that, do you honestly think Duffy and that crew was going to go down there if they didn't know something? That's too much money.
Yeah,
if there was a chance that at that certain location that they wouldn't see something. So I don't know.
I go like this. Here's what's going to be proof of the globe. And this is the only thing that's going to be proof of a globe Earth. You have to show measurable convexity, 360 degrees around a single point, and not just once in one location, because that's not science. Going and looking at something one time is not science. It requires repeatable experimentation. You have to do it in different locations. Okay. And if you can show me 360 degrees of convexity consistent with the radius value given for the Earth, well, then we can talk about the Earth being a globe. Until then, I don't care what the lights in the sky do. I can see a car going north on the road right next to my house, right? And the funny thing, the headlight beam on the wall in my bedroom will go to the south. So there's all kinds, if there's other explanations, you got proof is you got to treat this like a court case. There's a man that's looking at death row. You're in the jury. The only thing that is relevant is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. That means if there's a plausible alternative explanation, shit can that. We need only proved 100% without a reasonable doubt. And that's the only way it's ever going to be proven to be a globe. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right. And to comment back on why, or, my question, why have we not gotten more from the flat earthers? I know when Austin moved from the main first location, he was live streaming to their tent or where they were going to stay. He didn't have any Wi-Fi, or he had no ability to connect. I don't know how much behind the scenes limitations were applied to the flat earthers. I'm hoping that when Austin comes home, he's going to do stream after stream about, hey, this is what it was really like, man. We were really tied up, because I think if he had full range to the internet and the ability to speak, he would have said more already. So I'm being patient, and I'm waiting for the boys to come home and Elizabeth as well, and talk more, I guess, freely about the trip. But what if I don't know if they had to sign something else. I mean, who knows what the truth is about what kind of control they tried to put on them while they were out there.
Bear, check this out, Bear. Here's the thing. This is what really stuck up my butt really hard. Okay, they had this 24-hour track the sun. I pulled it up on the internet. I'm sitting here, I'm watching the thing, and it's late. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go to bed, and then in the morning, I'll go here and I'll check and see. I can play it fast, right? Well, even if the camera went down or they lost the battery, where's the footage up to that point? Where's the film up to that point? Why was it taken down and doesn't even exist anymore? I get a 404 error when it, what? So everything about this thing has been nothing but suspect. It seems like it's more of a big publicity stunt than it is anything at all. I'm not seeing any kind of scientific observations taking place. I'm not seeing the objectiveness that needs to be taking place. All I see is people arguing over personalities. And, you know, I even said that if this was going to even be remotely like an experiment, it's going to require repeatable trips. It's going to have to require repeatable trips in different locations in order to verify, not going to one place and maybe seeing an anomaly or something like that and then just going, well, there it is. I mean, can you imagine if you watched one eclipse and then you assume based on that that happens every night? That's not science.
I got a question. So what's the difference between north and south on a circular disc? And so if it's doing it down there, wouldn't it be doing it everywhere around the disc? You get what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying? So if it's a circular path, that's what it does. It just doesn't make sense to me, because even though if it does have that projection to where it's an opposite out, or if the sun comes around and it goes like this, it would still kind of, I've seen the model. So it doesn't make sense to me is that sun would have to go around the whole circular path. And that would be an illusion totally in every direction, wouldn't it be? If that were the case, but we don't see that. So also last night, the sun was directly on top of Australia. There were people reporting last night that the sun was directly overhead. Mm-hmm. So that's still, even though if it's up at that distance and it's hitting the angle of the dome, who's to say it can't do that? So that's the complexity behind this whole thing. And until we can really magnify different models, because there are the projection models where the light is coming from below and it's going around and in this wine glass kind of opposite it out. You know how they have the glass, that the old mixing glasses where they're wide at the top and they go down to a point and you can use the bottom one if it's flipped over or whatever. So it's in that type of framework. So we just don't know. If we could probably manufacture some type of model to where we could project a laser on top of something like that to see if that will work. But at the end of the day, there's so many questions I do have, like Sav, and the whole green screen thing coming up, that should have been nowhere in the picture. That should have been stopped automatically. And I mean, the chroma key being on, that to me is kind of weird. And
it's going to eat battery power, and your biggest enemy is the cold with battery power to begin with, right? And so the more you're running, your video stuff eats up a lot of memory. If you don't think so, turn on your chroma key and watch your memory thing, and then turn it off and watch it go way down like that. Okay, so that didn't make no sense to me.
I do
just
digital media.
We're going to come back to the chroma key and the media and everything. Well, before we jump to that, which I definitely want to cover that in its entirety, I'm going to hop back to what you were saying a second ago, Howard, about the heavens and what do they do and how do they do what they do and what is it that we're seeing? Because you might have missed the stream. I know somebody in the chat hasn't seen this. I'm going to queue up. The other morning I had Joe Hanvey on, and he has this little dome, but it has a flat portion in it as well that he is saying is like the superfluid that we actually have in reality. Because I line up with what he says. If there is a structure, firmament that's hammered out like bronze, or it's a molten looking glass, if all of that is reality, then the superfluid is lighter than air and it would fill the upside down bowl and there'd be a perfectly level area. And I think that that's required for the gradient with the electromagnetic, like the electrostatic gradient, 100 volts per meter. The Gaussian surface above, the Gaussian surface below. So just look at this.
That makes sense.
Look at this real quick.
I have to look, but in different translations, the three main translations go like this. That he spread out the sky as a cast metal mirror is one. That it is a bronze, like a bronze mirror that reflects heat is another. And another is it is as a molten looking glass. So
What?
this would be kind of like a molten looking glass. And this will give you that anti-arc phenomena at the southern edges. This is the small dome you were talking about. So this is kind of like what our realm, what's above our realm looks like. And inside here, where you see my finger, is our livable sky where the birds fly and all that. Now this flat part is the superfluid ceiling. And then inside of that, and here is where all the luminaries are. And what happens is out here in the southern parts where my finger is, you see an anti-rotation because of that. And it's most likely a crystalline structure, the superfluid ceiling, the way light is manipulated by it also creates like a mirror type surface and mirror type imaging within it. In the scriptures, we're told not only is it like a cast metal mirror, a bronze mirror, a molten looking glass, the bronze mirror reflects heat. Well, a mirror that reflects heat is kind of like a solar cooker. It is a dome shaped that focuses energy and light into a focal point that creates heat, which what I believe our sun is. So that kind of describes the sky above us. And we're also told that it has a crystalline aspect to it because it's likened unto sapphire many times in scripture.
Okay. So let me pause that.
Definitely.
Where are we at?
So I think
Okay.
we should focus on if the projection of the sun's movement. I think we need to focus on that then, because he was talking about it goes in reverse. It's in anti-arc, right? So I think that would be something to look forward. And I was really like asking Pebbles, I was like, did you hear Jaron just say that the sun is moving the opposite way in which it was supposed to? And if that is what's going on and that can be proven, then we can start looking at a different way that this thing is built. So.
Oh, another thing about that too. Okay, you're in Antarctica, and we already know compasses don't work very well, right? You don't use a compass that you pick up from the truck stop, okay? This is the type of compass that you want to use at the very least, okay? You can shoot an azimuth with this compass. Do you see this? This is what we used in the military to be able to try it, find out where we're at, shoot an azimuth, and get to another portion of the plane. This is very simple right here. They're not very much. In fact, I've got one that's even better that you can set that shows an elevation angles and everything else on it. You don't get one of these little clear plastic map reader things like you get at the thing. I about shit myself when he pulled that thing out to look at the direction. I'm like, what in the world are you doing? Where's Captain Crunch on there? Come on.
That's hilarious, Saul. Hey, I'm going to show a 1-minute video that Dave posted about that whole green screen thing because I think it's important. Most of y'all probably already seen it, but before I play it, I want to go to Matt since he's not on camera, see if he has anything he wants to say, with his voice. Matt, you got anything that you want to add?
No, I'm just sitting here taking it all in. Back to what you were saying about like the projection of the sky being your personal atmospheric dome. I want to say that, yeah, I agreed with that.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to share what Dave shared the other day. I'm going to try to make it full screen real quick. Hold on. I think this will be good enough.
Hey, everybody. I just want to talk about.
Oh, yeah, it's up there.
The video that everyone's freaking out that Will Duffy made, showing signs of using a green screen. Everyone's saying they're not in Antarctica. They're clearly in Antarctica, and it's clearly just an issue. Will Duffy is using his same phone or computer that he uses for his live streams, and that he has it set with the green screen filter on. Right now, I have mine set with the green screen, but look, I don't have my green screen on. There it is. So he has something green on his body, And when he moves around, that's all that's happening. He had it on his collar. They had it in the other room. This is a green shirt. You can't see that it's green because the green screen picks it up, right? So that's it. That's all that's going on. Anyone that's made a video with that on there, take it down, redo it, say something else, be intelligent, all right? That's all I got to say.
All right, so let me just address that real quick. Dave, I love you to death, but you're in your house. You're plugged into an outlet. You are not in -6 degrees Celsius. Okay? When you are in a remote location and you're operating off of battery power with these devices, you take every precaution you can to extend the life of that battery. I'm sorry. Nobody's just going to go. And then once it's pointed out, still leave it on. That's just the
So, like, but do you expect this was Duffy who did that, right? This mistake. So that's your expectation. You expect him to be smart and save battery, but we don't know if he's gonna be able to be smart and save battery, right? He could have made that mistake.
He's been doing this for a while. He was a producer for Bob Enyart, right? So it's not like he's stupid when it comes to this stuff.
Well,
I'm just a goofy, smiling Bob Pastor, and I didn't know any better. No.
Well, my opinion is, I'm gonna say maybe Sam's right, and he just he used the same probably laptop that he uses all the time to stream his TFE. And actually, Dave said he wishes he would have used his TFE background because it would have shown like the flat Earth was what he was saying on his. So if he opened up Zoom or opened up his streaming and just left it the ticker, I hear you, Sav. He should know. But then what about this aspect or component of it? What if he did it on purpose as a truther trap because he knew that everyone would go bonkers and yell green screen to make us just look like we're the dumb ones? Like, I gotta just say that too.
A distraction. You're right.
The distraction. But I mean, yeah.
Well, I can say this. I've been fooling with multimedia and digital media for going on probably 7 years now. When it comes to like video forensics and separation of bodies, when it comes to green screen, there's a format where you can put with just like when you bring up the saturation on the Earth and you see the square, there's a way you can bring the saturation up in a different type of hue where you can see if there is a color inlay variant of green, and it exposes it. It's just a technique. I mean, because everything's blue, green, red format. Okay, so it's a basic concept. There's different filters that you can go bring certain types of saturation up with different types of hues and see if they're expose if there's any type of. So I've kind of done. I've already screenshotted probably about 20 of Jaren's. I've got about 10 of Will's. A lot of his footage though is creamy looking. It's kind of questionable. I don't know. I'm just skeptical. I don't know I wasn't there, so I'm not going to make any kind of claims on it. But what I'm doing is I'm going to take the original footage and probably take as many screenshots as I can, and I'm going to put them in Procreate, and I'm also going to put them in Photoshop, and I'm going to see if I can't see if there's any separation of variant, and and I mean I'm just doing it. I want to just make sure on certain aspects. I don't think that Whitsitt is, I mean, he talks about the creator, and I thought about this though, and you got to think about this too. If you are saying that you're a Christian and you're confessing God and this is his creation, to do something to this magnitude would be to deny your creator, because this is the Bible says that, and so I'm just putting things out there. This is just, I'm being logical. I'm using Occam's razor here. And so if he were to lie to humanity, that means that he is covering up the truth about God's creation. That's major, folks. So I don't know if he would want to do that. I don't know. 80 million can cause a lot of people to do things. I don't know if 80 million was involved. So I want to trust that Whitsitt is what he says he is. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt right now until I can get through some of this, this kind of footage and stuff, and on both sides, because it is what it is. We all need to be looking at every aspect. And just like Sav says, take our feelings out of it and look into the facts.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Let me pause just a second. I'm going to show you my screen. This is my Telegram, and this is Jerrant, so JERANTZ. I put this link in the description. And just a minute ago at 11:44, which was not long ago, just took a flight above the Ellsworth Mountains. You can go and look at them flying in Antarctica. I guess it was a smaller plane earlier. I don't know, before they left. But he said right now, and this is for anybody that wants to do this, Q&A time at the moment. I have 20 to 25 minutes before they're taking us somewhere else. I will try to answer questions. Please just ask a single question, and I will reply. If you ask more than one, I may skip it. But of course, you can ask all you want. Then when I get back, if you have a question now, please ask. So comments, there were none. I mean, this is 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. You can open up the comments, see who's saying what. So that's a really cool. That was just Jaren's update thing. So if you're not following that, it's in the description. Witsit's main Telegram, I have it linked to his Antarctica tab. And then I also have Earth Awakenings Discord in there. And that's a place where Geo runs that server, and it's a bunch of people. Good mixture of globe versus flat. They talk generally calm. Generally, it does get heated. And they go over all sorts of different topics. And there's also Ether Cosmology Discord in there. Now that one's more kind of like fam, we're in there chilling. We talk about different topics. People rarely get heated in there. And if you're a troll and you're just coming to distract or disrupt, you'll just be removed. But I added that if you wanted to join, Witsit pops into both of those pretty often. Even on this trip, he's gone in a couple times. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share real quick. And what else is on y'all's mind?
Nothing. I'm just thinking this is going to be the end of having to put up with McKeegan and having to put up with Toon, and FTFE, all the rest of them. They can go on and do whatever it is they do now, because after all, they've proven a globe Earth. There's no reason for them to make any more videos, correct? Unless they don't think they've actually proven the globe.
I like what you're saying. Wishful thinking.
They're going to drive it home, Sav. You already know that.
I can take a little bit of sarcasm in your comments there, so I understand it. But we know that they make their living, attacking other people and creating this.
You want to know what I said 8 months ago? 8 months ago, when they started this fiasco, right? When I first started hearing about this crap, this is what I said. And you can go back and rewatch. I said it's going to be a big nothing burger. Nothing's going to be proven. It's just going to be a big point of distraction is all it's going to be. And well, look at there. Once again, experience and wisdom have proved that I was right again.
I disagree with you, brother. I will tell you why. Because this have give us some publicity, and I have added a lot of people to discuss this topic broadly. And I think we can take that publicity and we can look at the data, even from McToon's data, we can analyze it and we can come with better explanations for what really is happening in reality. We need to, researchers usually work for many years on their a specific idea or theory. They dedicate their life to it. And sometimes a new idea comes and it makes their idea obsolete. And it's hard to depart from your old idea, and because you see it as a baby, but you need to be able to step away from your ego and your perception of reality and move forward in the pursuit of truth. And this gives us the opportunity to meet new people, to interact, to look for better ideas, and take it as a positive thing. We managed to make these people to pay how much money they invested, and to take some truthers over there to get us the opportunity to get new data points. We have temperature measurements, sun position measurements, all this kind of stuff we can add and calibrate a better model for the future. And I agree with you what you said. This is just one observation, but this is one extra observation that we didn't have before, right? So let's work it from there. This is something positive.
Right. So there should be angles of incidence, right? There should be different tilts. If it is a projection, you would be able to tell. And also, if it's going in the wrong direction, we should be able to figure out if there's a model that can define that certain type of coordinates. And so I think that's what we need to look at to verify. If it's unverifiable, then that's kind of weird, because if there is a projection and we see an apparent sun and we can tell that there's sunspots on it, and if it's at a different angle, now we know that we look at the moon and it flips. So the sun should do the same thing. Basically, even though it's so bright, if we put a solar filter on it, we should be able to see if it's at a 45-degree tilt leaning inward because it's coming down off of a curved surface, say a dome, or if it's just like you said, if it's the superfluid is in a linear kind of fashion or a framework, and that projection is hitting it, it should reverse it down there at the bottom. It should be probably upside down, wouldn't you say? The sunspots should be reversed and stuff like that. If it's going in reverse as well, that could be one of the things that we need to look at, because really and truthfully, we're kind of by the nads right here. We wasn't down there, so we have to take the raw data. Hopefully they got out of the tents, and I think they did. And really, we need to compare the data of which Whitsitt and his team did, and then also compare the data with what I mean, that's going to be kind of hard to accept in some cases, because they want to just relentlessly prove the globe model. So, but I think it's going to come down to raw data and also just hope.
Right. Yeah, I like
Howard, if I can add. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Russ.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Sam, you'll be next. One thought is, if I'm in America, Texas, and if I'm looking south and I see the sun arc over at a particular angle, and let's say that they're at Union Station, Glacier, whatever, they're looking south and it's circling. The real question is, how does our realm work as far as the luminaries above presenting themselves to us? So earlier in the video, and if you're in the chat now and you hadn't seen it, go back later. Joe Hanvey showed that little glass dome with the flat part that he said represents the flat superfluid above us, and he had his finger in there and he was moving around. So we don't know. This is one of two things, man. So I'm in the America looking south, and I would see sunspots a particular way on the sun, and they're in Antarctica looking south. They're either going to see the sunspots exactly like I see them because we're both looking south, or it's like a funhouse mirror where it's going to invert it or warp it or flip it. And which way, I can't tell you. I wouldn't put my life on knowing. Now, what they recorded and what they're going to share, and like Austin from the Melodome, he has tons of footage. Once we start to let this thing settle out, sift it out, find out what's true, we'll go, oh, that's how the luminaries present, or that's how this realm works. We're going to know more. So right now, I don't think anybody knows, but hopefully we will soon.
That's definitely right.
Go ahead, Sam. What were you going to say?
No, exactly what you said, basically.
Oh, cool.
I think that we need to follow scientific method. We have a data point, we have an observation, then we can make a hypothesis. And not to get too attached to the hypothesis, because the thing that we know, like there is a kinematic equivalence in many different things. We can make an hypothesis we can make many hypotheses, and they all can work in reality. Because it's a model. So we need to be aware of that, and like don't get too attached with one model or another model. Like it's the raw data, what we can observe, then we can calibrate the model and get a better model. This is what we're working towards. To unlock the mysteries of creation, because it's not that simple, clearly, right? Like I think your friend Joe, he gave us like 3 different interpretations of what the heavens could be or are, right? So we need to test them all and start with the measurements that we have, right?
Yep,
exactly.
Well, anybody ever been to like a planetarium here at the university over in Harrisonburg? They do light shows in there, right? Pink Floyd, they play Pink Floyd and have these psychedelic light shows and shit, right? Wow, I can't figure out how the hell they're getting all that to do what it's doing and everything. I only know that it's coming from that one little really crazy projector they got in the middle of the room. That's the only thing. Fact of the matter is, I'm watching some bizarre stuff happen on the ceiling while I'm standing on a flat floor. So you know, what about the light show? Cool, let's figure out the light show. Does that mean that we live on a globe? Not at all, because that light show I'm watching, I'm not on a globe in there, but man, is there ever some really wild effects, even when they just convert it over to be a regular planetarium. I'm in there looking at a beautiful representation of the night sky, even animated to where it's moving. But the most intriguing aspect of it is that projector that's in the middle of the room. That's what I'm interested in. I want to see the projector. I want to know how that sucker works. Then I can get down to understanding what this stuff is. So Antarctica is an interesting place to go, but I think that there's more intriguing things to be seen in the north.
Yeah,
Man,
Well
well
said,
said.
that's a good one.
100%. Next expedition, I will go with you, Sovereign. I live close by, so you bring your compass that have all this stuff, and we're gonna be like a week there making measurements. I think like it's a great idea.
I think you're right.
These people say you don't know anything about the Earth and how it works and everything or whatever. That little compass I showed you, I have several like that. And when I was in the Army, that was part of my job, was to train other soldiers how to properly use that with a map. How to properly use that, how to shoot an azimuth, how to get yourself within a certain distance of a certain object in the distance that you're looking at. Okay, so I mean, that just I swear to God, I spit my coffee out when somebody asked for a compass direction and he pulled out that little truck stop freaking compass. I just, oh my God, you do just as good with a Captain Crunch one that come out of the cereal or something. Come on, y'all.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it was almost like you had all this time to prepare and everything, and you got there and you fumbled, man. No pun intended, you dropped the ball. You know, that's my opinion.
I thought it was funny too how they kept trying to record their compasses with their phone, but every time they would like take their phone to the compass would like start spinning the opposite direction.
No, I wonder if that's got anything to do with that EMF coming off that phone. Gee,
Exactly.
just a hunch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because even this one right here, I get it close enough to this microphone, and it's going to change what readings I'm looking at. I was playing with that last night. I was sitting here with my compass while people were talking, and I was like, "Now wait a second, over here it's showing me that north is right over that way." I brought it over closer to here, right? And I was like, "Now north's over here. What the hell's going on?" I was like, "Oh, it's my microphone, no doubt."
And then I got some questions. I heard Whitsitt had mentioned that he had a whistleblower from NASA that said that there was no 24-hour sun. Where is there any possible way he can find out where this guy was located? Where did he say that there was no 24-hour sun at? Because I know he had mentioned that in the past, and I was wanting to try to get with him on Earth Awakenings and find out, like, did he give any specifics on where he would be at or whatever? You know, because he had mentioned that. I talked to a whistleblower and he said that there wasn't one. So what if it has, now just picture this. This is a thought experiment. We see an analemma, y'all, right? So it's moving in different positions. Who's to say? I mean, you know, we see it come across the sky. What if it doesn't just like move in like a circular path? What if it's in some type of, and then it twists back around like this? Like a little arc, like an eye. Like the eye of, you know, the Egyptians. Because I'm going to tell you like this. I got a marker, y'all, panel. I got a marker one day. I actually put the 24-hour sun on my television. And on my TV, I got a Sharpie marker. And I followed from the point of where it started. And I went up. And where it came back down to so-called set. And then as it comes back around, it dips down and goes back up to its original position, and it forms an eye. I'm just letting you know. The perspective of its travel forms an eye.
I am the eye in the sky looking at you.
Here,
I don't know.
I'm going to pop this up real quick. It's just on the-final-experiment.com. I'm just looking at kind of where this, where this map says they all came in.
You know, they changed that image, Boston Bear. They changed that image because the first day when I looked at it, right, and I zoomed in on them, and then I moved the map over, I was getting all this wonky stuff where, like you see on Google Earth, where it's all swirled and all that shit toward the middle. Okay. I
Yeah.
put a post up about it on Facebook, and I think I might have mentioned it on a stream too. Next time I went and looked, they changed it to this map.
Yeah,
They had totally changed the imagery.
I saw all that wonkiness, and I'm trying to see if there's any more of it. Like
No,
when
they
you got
changed the
when you
image,
got,
man.
yeah,
Wish
when
you
you
would
get,
have got it at soft. Dang it.
but anyways, I'm just looking.
I got the screen captures though. I got
Yeah.
screen captures of
I
it.
saw
So.
some of it. Man, they really were between a couple mountains.
Yeah.
And then it's funny to see like on the cars or the snowmobiles, like where they went or where they were staying. But we should see them flying out of there. I don't know if y'all heard. Some people were asking in the chat, like, how many days are they going to be there, et cetera. And I mean, I think that they're packing it up immediately because a big storm's supposed to be coming in. So they're leaving a day early. Is that right?
Yeah. I thought they were going to be there on the solstice. I thought they were going to be there on the 21st. That's the solstice, right? Am I correct? Okay. So we're only at the 16th anyway. And I'm like, wait a second. So this for all the hype and hubbub and everything that was going on about this thing, like I said in the beginning, and that's an interesting thing too. You can see where they've pasted this image of the camp onto the thing. I get like a pink hue around it on my computer, around this whole thing, like they pasted it on the freaking
I see
picture.
the pink hue right here. Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
So that's not a true image. I mean, that's a true image of the camp, and it's pasted onto an image of the of Antarctica, but that's not a true image
because this is like gray sob, this is gray, this is white, and this is pink. Y'all can play. I don't know. Y'all can
all the way around the camp. I see it.
Yeah. Interesting, y'all. I don't know. This is so weird.
And it's a dead line too.
It's like they feathered it. It's like they feathered it. Yeah. It's a bad Photoshop job. So they pasted that on a picture, and that happened after I pointed out that there was all that wonky shit going on when you went toward the center. Next time I went into it, I look and it's all changed. I'm like, okay, somebody's listening to me, man. Somebody's listening.
There's too many of us that have totally retransformed our way of thinking. And we've done so much research that we know how to ask the right questions. Because that's the thing about research. You can get on a website, and if you're looking up a topic, you can look up that one topic, but there are sub questions in that topic that can get to every aspect of the meaning of what's going on. And we're there. That's where we're at, And I'm not saying there's anything shady on our side's part. I just think that there is some weird stuff that we need to really look into, that we need to take, and really analyze and make sense out of this, because this is just a weird time. Really, it's just weird.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the things too, Howard, I'll add on to that, becoming a truther and, a researcher and everything, one of the greatest parts, about it to me is the ability to say that I don't know and being comfortable with that. Because that's something that, when you have this hubris of being brainwashed and thinking you have everything figured out, you cannot allow yourself to say that. You cannot say, I don't know. And I can say it comfortably now and be okay with it.
James Tour said the same thing with genetic entropy. He said that they don't know. But you know what's so weird? They just won't admit it when it comes to the genome.
Yeah.
That they just don't know. They don't know.
When they first came out with the DNA, and they were teaching us about this in school, I remember I think just in my later grade school, and they were talking about DNA, and that only 20% of your DNA is actually usable. The rest of it was just junk DNA, left over from evolution and all this other crap, right?
Right.
And then as the years go on, they find out, and this is after they've already opened Pandora's box and started screwing with everything, right? And they go, wait a minute. We were wrong, man. It's not junk DNA. Everything works within sequences and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, you idiots have already opened Pandora's box and started screwing with it. The monster's out, man.
Yeah.
What in the hell are you doing? And that, to me, is symbolic, I think, also of the tree of knowledge that we weren't supposed to eat from in the first place. There's some stuff that we're not supposed to play with, man.
Right. That's right.
You know, it's like letting a little kid have carte blanche to your gun cabinet. No, there's a reason I told you that's forbidden. You don't have the capacity to deal with what you're playing with.
That's right. I believe that.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, I will be the devil's advocate here and say, like, if we are doing what we're doing right now, the Creator have a hand in all of this. So He has led us to this path to seek truth, and we got some people over there, which I believe to be in the same path, and we are moving forward. We are unveiling the mysteries of reality and creation, and I don't think. I mean, if God is not happy with that, He will let us know at some point, you know. So we'll see.
I think we just need to make that prayer and say that prayer that all things that if they were done in darkness to be brought to the light, which I've got a very strong feeling that there's an explanation for everything that we've experienced and seen in the last few days. So
I agree.
I'm doing some video forensics though, just on things, just to make sure on certain aspects, not saying that anybody's, doing anything, corrupt, but I'm taking screenshots, all the original footage. I'm going to put them through my Procreate. I'm going to put them through Photoshop. I'm going to do a few different types of modelings and see if I can't layer it with some different types of hues and bring out if there's anything there, any kind of artifacts. And and I'll probably drop you something, Ron, to get your kind of like advice on some things, and you as well, Saab. And tell me what y'all think. I'll be on. I got to drop down, y'all. Look, panel, I do appreciate y'all letting me speak. This is an awesome time to be alive, and it's also a really weird time to be alive.
Yeah.
So y'all just stay in prayer, man, and stay positive.
Thanks for everything you do, bro.
We're gonna figure this thing out, Saab, dude. We got this far, brother. We're gonna figure it out.
If not in this incarnation, in the next. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a patient person. It's like when I saw that, they got paywall and you can get this footage and all that other good stuff. I'm like that with a new movie. I'm not going to go pay $14 to go see a movie, because if it's good now, it'll be good in 8 months when it's in the $5 bin at Walmart. Okay. I'm patient. I can wait. I can wait. Right.
All right, Sam.
But it comes right down to Ecclesiastes, man. It really does. That just rang into my head in the form of the birds. Really weird, but there is a reason for everything, and that everything has its purpose. And this is the thing. We just need to understand it. We can't change what we think it is. It's going to be what it is, and that's all.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for coming up, and it's a blessing to know you, and you and your fiance have an awesome day.
Man.
Thank y'all, panel. God bless all of you.
You too.
That's brother.
Yeah, and if anybody else wants to come up, I shot this around to just everywhere. So there might be an aggro person, a troll, or somebody to come in, because I did post this stream publicly in some places. But you know what? I've got some good mods, and I don't really want people timed out for little stuff. But if they're only here to disrupt, I mean, yeah, for sure, time them out. But yeah, my thoughts go back to, there's no reason to be upset. I mean, of course, a lot of this is traumatic, like the whole awakening process of realizing that our realm, reality, outdoors is not what we were told our whole life. I mean, none of us wanted to let space go. We enjoyed the space narrative. It's a pretty cool story. So many movies and so many ideas about, creatures from other planets or light years. Like when you let go the idea of trillions of light years, it can be difficult. And like for me personally, I had interwoven my own faith. Like I follow the Messiah, and I believe in a creator above us. And I used to really entangle the vastness of space to displaying his grandeur or his power, his authority. And so to extract the inversion, the deception, was difficult for me, because if this is an enclosed realm and everything is tighter and closer, like one thing that people need to understand is, if we're right, if we biblical cosmologists or flat earthers, true earthers, the stationary topographical plane, if that's right, then even if you do this for just a second, you have to realize that where we live and where we can travel is vast and expansive. It's huge. And then these luminaries that are revolving above us are closer, much closer. But I guarantee you the sun is not the size of, the United States. And we're like, what? It's maybe 32 miles in diameter, and it's apparent. It may not even be in the moon too. It may not be something you can physically go to, tangibly touch. It may be that mankind is looking into the literal heavens where it's another realm, or it's a different frequency. It's a different vibration. And part of being a human and looking up is to be in awe of what that is, not say, oh, we've been to the moon and we played golf. So there's a little rant for you. Just stay calm, be at peace, know that the Creator loves all of us, even if you don't have a good relationship with the Creator right now. I don't believe that he has a hammer about to come down and smash you today, because you have the ability to morph and change your ideas about who he is and who you are. And it can always go towards the positive. It can always go towards the light. I think a lot of people are stuck and they find themselves merging towards darkness because the algorithms want you to move towards porn and anger and hate and division. And my heart is trying to talk to people about, let's just stay peaceful, man. Even if you think it's flat and I think it's a globe, we don't have to be mad at each other. Why be angry? And let's move towards the light and the higher vibration. So that's my goal of having this channel, is to bring people together.
Even not to just argue. Like this guy, he's on Facebook, right? He said, oh, well, there's been actually hundreds of people that have been to space. And I said, are you one of them? And he said, well, no. But then he goes into this, how there's been so many in this math and calculations. So my response was merely, if that story is good enough for you, Godspeed. There you go.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Sav, what a lot of people don't realize is how many people have been outside the Van Allen radiation belts? How many people have been outside of low Earth orbit? The number's below 30. I think it's like 24 or 26 human beings have ever, you know what I mean? And then the whole thing with, mainstream and Elon and the president saying, we're going to go out of low Earth orbit one day. It's like, dude, how did we do it 50 years ago or 60 years ago? Hey, it's crazy. And people won't even look at that. They won't even ponder it. We lost that technology.
We didn't know about it back then. We didn't know about it back then, so it didn't matter.
Bro.
Damn it, they had to go in and discover the Van Allen belt and screw it up for everybody. Now we can't go now that we know about it. Jesus. Wow.
Pretty crazy. Well, how are all y'all doing with your family and friends? I mean, I know, Sav, you've been in it a while. I know that a lot of the times it's strange how you try to tell somebody that you love or care about, hey, you should look into not only this whole creation model conversation, but the medical industry and what is illness, like what is sickness, what is health. That's one. And there are so many deceptions out there. The house of cards, when you find flat earth, and that's the first thing I found, really, it was flat earth, and then everything else came. I guess I'm just trying to get people to talk about their experience of being a truth seeker and how the mainstream tends to say that we're idiots or they hate us for it, when really we're just trying to set everybody free and they think that we're lost. That's a weird deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been having a blast. My family is pretty well down on all of this,
Nice.
And at the very first, when I started looking into this and everything, because I was going to debunk it, right? And I'd saying, man, they got a point here. This is true. I can't refute that, this, that, and the other. My wife's in the background going, oh, please don't be a flat earther. Please don't be a flat earther. Please don't be a flat earther. And sure as hell, what happened? Well, here I am. And the more that she's heard and been exposed to, I never pushed it at her, but she's had exposure. And she's got her own mind. And she's like, yeah. And it's got to the point now where she'll see I'm watching something. She goes, oh my God, is that Toon? I can't stand to watch that idiot. And she'll go on and you'll hear her pipe up and say, well, there ain't no way that could happen, So I've got that, and I'm able to bridge that out into my social world as well. Like I've been doing some work with the mayor working on doing construction projects and a little bit of carpentry here and there. And I worked for him years ago. He's got his own construction company and shit. I like to just blast stuff at him. And I say, so, if we run this plumb over here, that over there across the other side, it's not going to be even to it. It won't be plumb. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, if we live on a globe, that would mean this, that, and the other. And he's going, well, no, it's still plumb. And I said, that's right, because we're not on a globe. Now he's asking questions.
I do the same thing at work.
And that's the best way, just throw it out there. Don't just go, hey, did you know the Earth's flat? Just pick up some kind of a thing like, gee, I wonder why that's like that if we're on a globe. That don't make any sense to me. Does it you? Or ask your mechanic friend, if you don't have containment for the pressure system, is that car going to run right? Well, hell no, it's not. Yeah, I know. Huh? Ain't that wild? You have to have containment for pressure.
Yep.
Well, of course. Well, then how do we have air?
Yeah, no, Sam's gonna say something then, Matt. But solve to what you're saying, like if I'm going out with my groceries and I see like a cart boy or whatever, or cart girl taking the carts back in, and let's just say the sun is or the moon really behind a cloud, and the specific cloud is illuminated and the ones over here are not. I say things like, hey, how do you think that the sun is lighting up that cloud right there so much and all these other ones are left alone? Isn't it 94 million miles away? Like, wouldn't they all be lit up the same? And he's like, I don't know, man, that's kind of weird. Just planting seeds sometimes. But Sam, what did you have to say?
Well, I have many ideas. I just wanted to comment, like, for sure, we need to, to teach people how to think. Critical thinking it's a very rare, skill or gift that people have nowadays, and we need to do that with compassion and empathy, right? We all have the power, to awaken our critical thinking, because in a way we have been indoctrinated to not use it. And I often realize that, we just think about when we're discussing people, like that there's a funny meme or saying that says, like, small minds discuss people, normal minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. So I think we need to focus on the greater scopes of things. If you look at how we are indoctrinated by TV, it's all about these people did that and the other person did that and they married this and that, and like this is like, what is given to you, what constructive, what edification you get from this gossip about people. So I think one good step is just to always remember that, like, forget discussing about people, like good or bad. Like, this is what the other people make their money off, because it, they trash talk about people, and there is no point in that. We should not stoop to that level. We need to rise above that and focus on, maybe if we cannot focus on the meta ideas of how the creation works, maybe we could focus on the events, right, and work up from there. Let's see what had happened. This is like a positive step forward. Like, I believe that now with all of this exposure, we have a lot of our boys doing a lot of work, doing a lot of presentation, a lot of research. I've been I've been seeing that, not directly involved, but I see the amount of hours all of these people have put hard work into, like, reading research papers on a level that I've never seen in my own personal life in the academia. These people are like beasts. They're really like eating very complicated research paper, putting it together and figure it out what they actually mean, and trying to dumb us down to normal people that maybe don't have the time or comprehension to acquire that kind of knowledge. And we need to be grateful for that and keep moving forward to try to understand this realm that is never said was going to be easy. And we no need to be attached to one model or another model. Like, we need to be open-minded to understand that we don't know anything, right? To be humble enough to and open enough to understand that we are not that smart sometimes. We need to give it time, let the idea simmer in, and see what takes shape. That's a little bit my take on this aspect. And I just want to say, like, look at all the exposure that we're having, including myself, in a way, like us as in the community, that truth seekers, we are going to shows, and people are talking about this kind of stuff, and we can use this as a platform to keep spreading truths. And like, if we reach one more person, it's it's good enough. Like, it's positive enough.
Yeah, that's great, man. I like your spirit and your attitude on all this. And if people didn't know, Sam came on. If you look on my channel under the live tab, he was one of my first interviews, which I enjoy doing with people. I'm gonna bring Joe from Effed Up World up here in just a second.
Hey, Joe.
Before I do, Matt was gonna say something possibly. I'm just gonna give him a chance to speak up, and then I'm gonna show something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I do the same thing that Sav does. Like when I'm at work and whatnot, I do construction. So I do plumbing, concrete work, framing, everything basically. But if we'll get like a bent piece of pipe or something, I'll be like, oh, it must be following the curvature of the earth, and people will look at me and be like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, how else would it make sense? Why can't we get it level?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to show real fast. I keep mentioning Earth Awakenings, and I don't know if everyone in the chat has even been to Discord or downloaded it or knows about it. This is the YouTube where they basically take their live stream of the conversation. It's going 24/7. Earth Awakenings is available. Geo runs the server. Witsit goes in there a lot, and we're just going to listen in for just a second. So be sure and let me know if this audio is working. Just see what they're talking about. Can y'all hear that? Okay.
Oh yeah, you're on. I don't know how it works on this.
Yeah, this is Talk Studios by Streamlabs. So Let me close this. Let me reshare it and make sure I have the audio tab selected. You know, it was funny when I first did a little sample of it. It sounded like Sam. I was like, "What is that, Sam?" So let's try this again. If it doesn't work, I'll just give up on it. So let me know if you hear this.
Which that's kind of how it is already. And the fact that people take like basketball seriously is actually the troll. Like,
can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let it play for just a second so you get a sample.
That's retarded that people take football, basketball, baseball like it's their whole life.
And yes,
that's more of a troll. That's more of a troll than a midget on a zebra with a spear trying to like attack like a bear or something. Like, I don't know. Like,
okay, hilarious. Lately they've been all over the TFE stuff, but it's a fun place to go. The topics vary greatly, but welcome in, Joe. I don't know if you've been watching for long. Unmute and let's see what you have to say, buddy.
Hear you. I've just been listening. Deal with this the way I do, but and stuff. Listening, reading my Bible. Opposing.
Hold on just a second. We got feedback maybe coming from Sav, and then yours is clipping, or it's not coming through clear. You held up your Bible. Maybe re-say what you said.
If it's a bad connection, I don't want to.
Yeah, it's bad. It's your audio's falling out. You try to leave and come back. We'll see if that works.
It's like it's cutting in and out. He starts talking, and then the microphone cuts back and then comes back on or something. It's weird.
Yeah, I heard it. It dropped to like nothing. Like I could hear him still way in the background. We have someone else, Rock E, just popped in, and then we'll see if Joe comes back. Rocky, what you got, buddy? Yeah, it sounds pretty jarbly. Okay, let's try Joe again real quick. Joe, Rocky popped in. We're going to give him a chance on the mic in a second. His was kind of messed up too. Let's see if you got yours working.
Testing.
Clear so far. Try again.
I can't.
Was that better or?
Yeah, you're sounding better, Joe. And after you're
I'll
done,
mute up.
Rocky, we'll come back to you after Joe's done. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was just going to mute up and you guys can go ahead, continue on. I was actually looking for a verse in here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, Joe. Rocky, do you have a contribution, a thought, concern? What's on your mind? Rocky? I heard you a second ago. If you want to unmute and try to speak again, we'll see if it's clear. Saab, you know all about this, right? Trying to get people on with audio.
I run into some serious problems sometimes, man.
Oh, man. 3
Can you
weeks
hear me?
ago. Yeah, I can. Go for it, Rocky. Floor's yours.
Oh, I've been researching Satan's little season, Revelations 20, 7 through 8. I think that we might be in Satan's little season where the whole world is deceived. And look at, they're trying to promote this alien invasion shit. The government's trying to say, oh, the aliens are coming and well, look at, man, they're not going to, even if there is, not 24-hour sunlight down there, they're not going to let it go. I mean, they got this agenda of alien invasion coming. They're trying to fake an alien invasion. They're not going to allow, the earth to be proven as flat. I mean, this seems like, someone said that they were using a blue screen down there for something, or a green screen, or whatever you call it. I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't prove that anything that happened. It could be all bullshit. I don't know. But I haven't been keeping up on it too much. So you're saying that they filmed 24 hours of sunlight down there.
It was better than that. It was supposedly the orb of the sun circling above that area of the earth, just staying up in the sky the whole time they were there, which people say, well, that proves a globe. It can only be on a globe. But that's not true. The globers are going to scream that that's only possible on a globe, but they don't understand perspective, optics, the azimuthal grid of vision that we all have and carry with us wherever we go. And then if you go that far south, you should look up Joe Hanvey's work, Shane St. Pierre's work on ether cosmology, or Shane St. Pierre on YouTube, space audits. There's a lot of people looking into how does this realm work. And bottom line, before I land the plane, if you measure water level and there's no curvature, and the earth measures level and there's no motion, because we need 30 kilometers a second revolving around the sun. We need that for the heliocentric model to be true. And Michelson-Morley detected less than 7 kilometers a second, which, they detected motion. Well, they could have also detected the movement of the ether winds. And so if the luminaries above their movement, like tangential and all of it, if their movement puts on the earth a force, or if we live in a double torus and a lot of stuff is electromagnetic. I'm not as good as explaining it as Whitsitt, but if the luminaries above are the things that are moving, they're going to have a cause and effect relationship with the ground. Kind of like if you have a bathtub of water and it's totally, totally calm and smooth, you can move your hand kind of above and make the water move a little bit. So I just will end it with this. No curvature has been found, and I don't think any can be found at the rate needed, which is 1 degree every 69 miles or 8 inches per mile squared. And that motion I mentioned about the 30 kilometers a second, it's not going to be found either. I feel like Earth is a stationary topographical plane. The only time the Earth is moving is during earthquakes and landslides.
Yeah. I don't, just because, I don't know how everything works. So I know the earth is flat. I can tell, I've taken my P900 out and checked it out. And so one thing don't really prove the other as far as I'm concerned, but, but this drone shit is kind of weird how they're trying to promote all that. And then you guys ever checked into the Satan's little season, Revelations 27 through 9?
Yeah, I was going to tell you, JT follows JC, is big on that, and is really laying out some videos teaching on it. You know, my position there is it could be or it might not be. And I'm interested. I need to do more study, really. I've been really focused on biblical cosmology mainly, trying to figure out where we are in the biblical timeline of, end times prophecy and like, where are we right now? I've got 3 small kids and 1 on the way, and me just juggling training for ultra runs and marathons, hanging with the community, doing streams like this, taking care of my family. Like, I haven't really bit off that topic, but I am interested. I mean, I'd love to find out if we're in a little season, but I haven't really landed on like, oh, this is what I think.
Yeah, I came across it about 4 years ago, and I put it aside because but then I've been watching Understanding Conspiracy and Leaving Babylon, and JT loves
JT follows JC.
Yeah, they're pretty good at it, but it just makes sense to me. It's all falling together now.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world's being deceived.
Well, I mean, who's the king of the air?
Who's the what?
King of the air. Yeah, the deceiver. And so we live in a realm where, of course, it's consent-based. I feel like even the enemy can't do anything without our permission, but so often we get tricked into giving up our rights or our freedoms as a child of God. We hand it over, and we get lured and tempted with sin and the algorithms and AI. And, I think that the enemy uses any and all tactics possible to make us angry and to make us sin and fall off the track. But even in my own walk, like I follow the Messiah. I've followed the Messiah for 15 years, and I say I follow the Messiah because I believe him to be the way, the truth, and the life. Now, I didn't say I'm a Christian. I am. I mean, I'm a follower of Christ, but I don't want to really like label myself a Christian, like the Christian church, because a lot of that they have twisted, and some things are confused. I would rather live like, emulate, follow the way and the life of Christ as best as possible. And when I die, I'll find out if he's there, and I'll either hear good job, faithful servant, or if it's something different. Like if there's a different creator, I feel like living to be humble, living to be empty of myself and full of the Holy Spirit, and wanting to operate in and through the fruits of the Spirit. So peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and self-control. If I die and it's something different than the God of the Bible, I feel like that creator will be like, oh yeah, you kind of like fell into one of the most common traps. The reality is I'm the creator. I feel like that lifestyle that I've already lived, he is not going to hurt anybody. Like, I just want to love people. I want to help people move towards the light and towards goodness. Now, I'm not saying that my faith is shaky, that my faith is like unsure. I fully believe that the Messiah is going to come and that he paved the way for us to have reconciliation with the Father. But if I'm talking with an atheist and they don't want to hear about my Messiah and they don't want to hear about the God of the Bible, I'm not going to talk about it because it's not comfortable for them. They think that I'm an idiot for believing in a man-made book. But see, I don't believe it's man-made. I think it is inspired. But I'll land the plane with this. The incorruptible word, I don't think the incorruptible word is the Bible with the words printed on the pages. I think the incorruptible word is Yeshua. He can't change. He's forever. So if there's Mandela effects of the Bible, or if there's way crazy confusion stuff with the religions of the world, like I get that. That's what the enemy would do. But thank you guys for letting me share. I don't really talk about my personal faith much because everybody has a different opinion on who God is and what we should be doing. But for me and my house, we're going to follow Yeshua, and we're going to try to be, meek, mild, loving, gentle, and bring people up rather than like destroy them and push them down. So thanks.
It's like this, man. Religion to me is like somebody trying to give you their relationship with God. And if any of you, and I'm sure many of you do, have brothers and sisters, right? You all love your mother, and your mother loves all of you. However, each one of you has a different and unique relationship with your mother, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
If you try to adopt your brother's relationship or your sister's relationship, it's not going to work out because it's unique for every individual. We are all the individual children of God. and you get your own relationship with them, though, within certain parameters, you know. And for me to go and this guy tell me that this is the only way, blah, blah, blah. No, man, come on. That's not true at all. You know, sometimes mom tells you, no, you can't have any cookies, but she'll let me have one. You know, it's just like that. You know, I don't know.
No, you're good, man. Here's one more thing. In this truth-seeking community, in this truth-seeking world of people trying to find out what's really going on, it's helped me to be less judgmental. Like I used to a few years ago when I said like, yeah, I'm a Christian, and that's all I said. If you were different than me, if you had a different opinion of the creator, you all of a sudden my body would react with, oh, I would be like, oh, I'd put up a stiff arm. Oh, you're the enemy, or I can't listen to you. You're going to get me all confused. Now I'm so relaxed around people of all different belief systems. If somebody's telling me they believe, you know, I hear it in Discord. They truly believe that we were seeded here by aliens. I don't have that knee-jerk reaction to think, oh, well, they're an idiot and they're going to hell. I don't even think that at all. I think, wow, this person believes that and this, and I listen and I think, I wonder where they're going to be in 6 months or a year. Is that what they're going to think in 10 years? And I'm much more peaceful about other people's walk with the Creator, because who am I to judge them today for where they are today? That's like foolishness, in my opinion.
I love that, Ron Bossenberg, what you just said. The way that you said it, it explained it well. I think that when I would see someone, I think you said on a server or something, but then maybe they had a different belief that was a little strange to you, or you know, dangerous in your thinking. Well, you say to yourself, well, I'm glad they're in this server, right? You're like, they're going to get somewhere where, you know what I'm saying? Look at it that way, instead of like them being a different. That's religion is a sad thing. But earlier you said something about, you just mentioned quickly how like our type of people, our group of whatever you want to call it, a community or whatever, we're looked at as dumb, like by mainstream. And I wanted to like read just like 2 verses or something from Luke chapter 7, because I think I don't have to say anything. You guys will understand why I want to. Okay, so Jesus answered and said, this is man, my eyes are getting bad. This is a teeny Bible too.
Yeah.
I think it's 27. I have no idea though. I barely see it. Jesus answered and said to them, go and tell John the things you have seen and heard, that the blind see, that the lame walk, that the lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor have the gospel preached to them, and blessed is he who is not offended because of me. And you guys, I really just want to give just a quick thought, and then I'm just going to continue to listen. The thing that we're kind of like finding ourselves believing or defending or whatever, if you're going into a flat versus globe debate, really what you're defending is what our BB was just talking about. It's not this paper, it's not this physical tangible book, but it's the Spirit, it's the Holy Spirit that you're almost saying, okay, come on, I this doesn't have any words on the page. I need the words. I need you to be like, it's the Holy Spirit or the Spirit of truth. And really it's his word, the word. Like, I think we're defending his word in a way. Like he said, you would be hated for my name's sake. And I was thinking about that. Well, what, like, it's not his name, Yeshua or Jesus, or do you know what I'm saying? That's not what it's talking about. It's talking his, I don't know, maybe someone else has some more insight on that, but I think you guys understood what I'm trying to say. Is like, I'm not ashamed of this truth. I'm not ashamed to have my family think that I'm, you know, out there. But here's the thing. They've been forced into thinking I'm out there for 10 years. Like, how if I was crazy or something, that probably wouldn't last so consistently for 10 years, would it?
Right. No, it's good. That's a good, everything you said is good. And the only thing that I would like overlay on what you're saying is if Yeshua is the truth and if he is love, they hated him and he didn't do anything wrong. Like if he was without sin. So let me just take it back to all of us because we know we're here, right? And if we're really pursuing the truth, not our truth, but the truth, and other people are like, there is no truth. It's relativity, the relative truth or whatever. Then if we're truly trying to find the truth in all things, then people are going to be mad at us for doing that, because in a way, when we do that humbly, then it maybe paints them in a light because they're not doing that they're wrong. And a lot of the arguments back and forth is, the heliocentric believers or our baller friends, they think that they know that we're on a spinning water planet and that orbiting the sun, and that the whole almost 500-year deception of heliocentrism is factual and true and it's reality. And so to them, when they say Mother Nature, they think about that ball Earth, that image that was on the iPhone. They're passionate about that being the truth, and then so whenever we say, yeah, that's not it though, that's like fake, then it's almost, to them, it's more than just offensive. And then it's easy for them to say, no, flat earthers are dumb as a box of rocks. Like they're so stupid to believe in a stationary topographical plane Earth. And I don't even know if they could say that. They just have to say, no, you're dumb, I'm right, you're wrong. And then honestly, a lot of what we're dealing with out here is like toddler arguments, fussing and crying about stuff, when really, if you can find a man or a woman that's humble and that is firm in their foundation of who they are as a person, then they can analyze and they can look into the sciences. Like on Flat Earth Fridays, Sacred and Proud Flurf, they're firm in what they believe. I'm firm in what I believe, that it's okay and it's right and good for a man to ask questions about any and all things presented to them. So just because somebody presented the sciences to us, can we say, is that true? Can we say, all right, let me test it? Absolutely, that's what science is. But then you have these scientism cultic type of people that say, oh no, you can't even ask a question against my God of authority that told me so. I hope I'm making sense, because I don't believe that asking questions is bad, even though the masses say that you're stupid. I hope that makes sense. Somebody else just popped on. Let me see. Sasquatch in the house. But Sasquatch, before you speak and we test your mic, I wanted to see if anybody had a response or a thought, and then we'll move to see what you have to add.
I kind of wanted to say something along the what if the world just read. Those that'll be hated for his name, and those by living by example. We've really got kind of a war with like selfishness going on here, especially in today's world, because everybody's so materialistic, and everyone's basically living and doing things for themselves. They don't humble themselves and try to contribute back to society. And when you do go out and actually try to contribute back to society, people start judging you and people start saying things, and people think people, and it's so opposite. It's like people think that you're better than them, when all you're trying to do is just help, because you realize that you're not better than anyone else. You have to humble yourself to go out and realize that everyone's the same and everyone can make a bad decision and everyone deserves second chances. And that's what Jesus was doing. I mean, he was going out. I mean, he was curing these people from their afflictions. And
Absolutely.
pretty much that's where I kind of want to leave it there. I mean, it's just, society judges you negatively on the positive things that you try to contribute. At least that's what I experienced.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to pop off here, man. I gotta go take the dogs out, and about a million other things. We got called off of work today because of weather, so I better get some stuff done.
Hey, Saab, thanks for coming by the channel today, and for all your contributions. And I mean, your debate, you're strong in debate, and you generally are pointing people, you and your son are pointing people to the truth. So keep it up, and I look forward to hopping on your panels, and I look forward to having you back.
All right, brother. We'll see y'all later.
All right.
Good night.
Peace,
See
man.
you later.
All right, so we've got Sasquatch in the house, and Richard B popped in. Richard B, I've met at Flattoberfest. He's an epic guy, great accent. I'm going to take a break in a minute. I'm going to let Sasquatch and Richard B go. I'm probably going to play that song, No Matter Where Truth Leads, just so I can hit the bathroom, and then we'll keep going. I can probably go for maybe like an hour more if we're still rocking and rolling and cruising. So Sasquatch, let me check your mic, bro. Sasquatch going once. See if you're here to speak or just listen. Speak up if you need to. If you're on your phone, you might have to give your phone permission for the audio to work in this particular portion of, I guess, your app on your phone or whatever. But Richard B, let's check, see if your mic's on.
Yeah, I've just turned it on. Can you hear me?
Pretty good. Let's see if it stays good. What do you want to share, brother? Good to have you pop on my channel real quick.
Yeah, that's great. Look, listening to just fantastic stuff you're all bringing up with Solve and Joe. Did you want to have a break first before I get into this, or?
I'm good right now. And does anyone else need to real quick? Like if a break now is better, I'll do it real quick.
I wanted to read one verse, and that's all. I don't even want to comment on it. It's just something that I didn't know before that I know now. And is that cool?
Yeah, read your verse real quick.
Okay, it's John 18, verse 37. It's Pilate was talking to Jesus before he was crucified. Pilate therefore said to him, "Are you a king then?" Jesus answered, "You say rightly that I am a king. For this cause was I born, and for this cause I have come into the world, that I should bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." That was all I wanted.
Oh, that's good. Richard, would you rather me play the song real quick, or do you want to go ahead? I'm not struggling that bad right now.
I just wanted to just say that my perspective of all of this is that I think it's a great thing that they've seen the 24-hour sun. I think it actually favors us in terms of when we're looking at the sides of flat Earth and the globe. I just believe that the globe side is going to rest on their laurels and say that's it. Whereas I think our side is going to be looking to investigate so much more. And then from probably a more spiritual side, if you, again, I said to you a couple of months ago when I was streaming with you that I'm still figuring out my relationship with the Creator, but I still believe that, you know, the Son is of God, and the Son is God, so therefore He's presenting us with the Son in a different way. So maybe we should be looking through the Son, whether you want to call the Son of God or the Son, if you know what I mean, then maybe that is leading us to the light and leading us to Him. That we're now going to look at it from a totally different aspect, and He's showing it to us in a totally different aspect. So therefore, we will look into it deeper and more spiritually than the globe has ever could. So they'll rest on their laurels, and we'll go into it deeper, critically and spiritually. That's just something I wanted to say.
Man, Richard, that's gold. And you're right. That's, I think, what's happening at the, Ether Cosmology, at the YouTube channel, and at the Discord server where we get together. I mean, sure, we read old papers. I don't. I mean, they do. Shane and Alan, they do probably the most work. Piezo's over there, Stone's over there. Gosh, the people that show up there regularly. I mean, Sam's a part of that group a lot. And the conversation goes way beyond just the shape of the earth and the cosmological, debate. It goes into all of these things that you were just mentioning. And someone mentioned, I can't remember which channel it was on, how this azimuthal grid of vision idea, that when you go outside and you see, more than half the available stars just in your area, and that they appear to revolve around you. Now, I'm not talking about Polaris being the center point and everything revolving around a Polaris. I'm talking about wherever you are on this plane Earth, the angle to the stars will shift. I mean, we know every 69 miles you go, whatever the stars are will shift. So like if you go that way 69 miles, this is hard to do. This way 69 miles, the stars will shift that way. Just all of creation is basically what I'm trying to say is all of creation is crying out that there's a creator. So even if you don't follow a book or a religion, down just like to the smallest scale, Fibonacci's numbers, like the length of this versus this versus this versus this, and pine cones and sand dollars, and all of it is crying out about a great designer, a great creator, a God. And I think he's for us, not against us. That's my opinion. A lot of people, they're super mad at God because of a hard life or things that they've been dealt or situations they found them in. Like, let's say a mom loses a child young. They hate God forevermore. How could God let that happen? But what people don't realize is we live in a fallen, broken world. This is not what we live in right now, the way it is, the way that people treat each other is not the original intention of the creator. But he had to give us free will. He didn't want us just to be robots just going around, because without free will, then we're not human. And he wanted us to be free to choose him, free to love him or not. And so, I didn't want today to be preachy or awkward for people or sermony. I just know that for me personally, I've experienced darkness and being lost, not having a clue where to go next. And basically I had a depraved mind, a dark mind, and I surrendered to the Messiah. He put me on a new path. And I like how you said a second ago, Richard, that you're still trying to figure out where you fit into all this, or who the creator is and how you fit, how you're digging. That's awesome. That's humility. That's humble. And to say, I'm not really sure how it all works is totally fine. But now I'm in a position of my life where I have a lot more peace and patience, and I don't have low self-esteem anymore. Like I've said before, there's no way I'd be on camera, running a stream, speaking, because I thought so lowly of myself. But if this is the middle ground and you're just comfortable, if you're egotistical and prideful, that's sin. Nobody wants that. But if you're too low, if you think too low of yourself, that's also a sin. You're missing the mark. You need to understand that you're fearfully and beautifully made. There's only one of you, and ever will only be one of you. So I try to breathe life into people and say, hey, take a deep breath, take care of yourself, get water, get some food, go on a walk, and try to work out these stuck feelings. Because a lot of people, they sit still too much and they feel stagnant and they feel depressed and stuff. If you move your body and you breathe fresh air and you just wait on the creator to guide you on his path, it's going to lead towards healing. That's just what I know because I've experienced it. But anyway, thanks again for letting me preach. Didn't mean to go that route, but I think some people like it. But if anybody wants to say anything, Richard, you can pick it back up and I guess give a response. We can go around, or you guys can take it wherever you want, really.
Well, I was thinking
say
about
amen, brother. That was good. I love it.
Sorry, one at a time. Richard, go first.
So I was just going to say that, just from things that I've from yourself and from DJ and from other people who have a relationship with Jesus, for example, and again, relating the sun with the sun is probably, it could be a way that God is having a relationship with me, showing me how that all works. And now in these last couple of days, he's shown me that the sun is something different again. And we need to look deeper into it for us to understand what he's trying to do, what he wants me to know, what he wants us all to know. And Joe was just saying before, with the scripture, if you can relate to something that it makes more sense to me, is that maybe God or whatever you want to call him, is if we all have our own personal relationship, then that's how he's showing. So I felt that they saw that there was a 24-hour sun, but that was him showing me something different. Probably make me double down more than go back the other way. It means that we need to investigate more. It means that we need to look into it more. I need to look into it more. I need to know that I can have a relationship with God and His Son or the Son, or maybe it's the same thing. Maybe the light is the light.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just again, it's helping me go forward, and listening to you guys talk like that, especially Joe, that was fantastic. It makes me want to pick up the Bible and read a bit and find out a few more things. So yeah, it's all part of the journey that I'm on, and that's what made sense to me. That's what just triggered me then to come onto the stream. Is that that's the sense that it was making for me.
Man, that's beautiful.
And my brother died at 17, and my mother hated God, and she grew up religious. So yes, and she did hate God for a long time. So, and I understand that. But again, it's to show us. Again, it's part of our life to show us the way. Certainly part of mine, because I was there when that all happened as well. So anyway, it's just another way of looking at it. Maybe it's just a personal thing for me. Maybe it's just something that God is trying to show me, and possibly others as well. But that's how the logic hit me. So anyway, I know that we're going to look deeper into it, cosmologically and spirit. And that's all I'll say. And thank you very much. Thanks, Joe. I appreciated what you said.
All right. Richard from Australia down under. Great comments. Wonderful, beautiful sharing. I'm going to get a response from Joe real quick and Rocky. I think y'all spoke up. So you gentlemen work it out. Rocky or Joe, who wants to go first?
I can go real quick, and then Rocky can.
Okay. Go ahead, Joe.
As much time as he needs. Richard, I think if it's someone that you're talking to or that we're talking to, and they're not experiencing this thing that this is not from me why I'm experiencing realizing all these things. It's from God. And I, of course, I'm the only one that can give my testimony about me, but Richard, it sounds like we just got a testimony from you that you're having similar, I don't know what you call it, realizations and just a sense of clarity when it comes to reality. That's from God. I think that's from God.
Thanks, Joe. Rocky, you spoke up a second ago. Do you still have your thought?
Yeah, I was trying to respond way back to the Bible question about people that don't believe the Bible. I understand that there are errors in the Bible. That's why we're told to study to show thyself approved. We try to go back to the original thought, what it was originally trying to say, the original message, and we know that there's, like English, this maybe something with the English language. But what proves the Bible to me is its prophecies and everything. If anytime you go down a rabbit hole, these people, it always leads to some satanic group trying to fucking lie to everybody. And that just, okay, people believe in Satan, but they don't believe the Bible. They try to argue against the Bible by using the Bible. That's kind of strange. Now, I don't believe the Bible is, we don't worship the Bible. The word of God, Jesus is the word. And he uses analogies in there too. He says he's the light of the world, the sun of the world. He's the light. So people worship the sun. They worship because it's the light of the world. And, and you worship the Son of God, you worship the sun. It's kind of, God did use that analogy in the Bible. He did use the word sun as the light of the world. And And then you have, like, in September, why would people worship on Christmas? Well, the sun goes into the darkness for 3 days and comes back out, right, during the equinox, like kind of like the Son of God was in the darkness for 3 days, and then he came back out, kind of like that. You know, what's that called when the sun does that? It's
The
called
solstice.
the solstice, where it goes like goes away for 3 days and comes back. That's kind of just like an analogy. It's awesome how he did that, though. It's kind of awesome. And then people say, well, Christmas is a pagan holiday. And then we're learning that our history is like a lie, like something about they're hiding something in our history, like adding 700 years or something, maybe.
Or more.
Yeah. And hiding the millennial reign of Christ when they built all these beautiful buildings right after like some great, like 70 AD, the tribulation happened and there was a great mud flood and covered Rome all over the world. And everybody knew where these Roman things were, so they just go and unbury them. But after that, there were these great Colosseums with these beautiful depictions of Christ, and everything was about glorifying Christ. And they're trying to hide that never happened, and they're trying to make you believe that we're waiting for God to the tribulation. And then they think that that's the end of the world. It's not. After the millennial, there was a short season where Satan would be released. And that's also in the scriptures. That is where I'm thinking we're at, where we're in that little season. Look at the Statue of Liberty. It's Satan with a broken chain around its foot. Now, in 1776, they created the Illuminati. They created the United States. They gave us the Statue of Liberty. And the French were having they were bringing about a republic against the kings. Okay, a republic is the same like Rome. They're bringing back Rome, the republic. 1776, they're bringing Rome back. They're raising Rome back up because that's what they always do. That it always returns to Babylon. There's nothing new under the sun. Satan's going to use his same tactics as he did, before he was chained. And if you look at the history, and you look at these beautiful buildings that we can't even build now. We can't reproduce these great, beautiful structures, these Colosseums, and they're supposed to have done that in the 1800s. They built them things. Come on, give me a break. It's all bullshit. So I don't worship the scriptures, but I try to study the scriptures to show myself approved. I will look it up in Greek. I'll look it up I got like 10 Bibles, I got the Geneva Bible. I got the King James Bible. I got the Sefer, where it has Enoch. It has all these other supposedly not scripture. And anyway, I've been researching this. It just makes sense. And I'm not trying to push anybody to believe in Jesus, but come on. What do you got against Jesus, man?
Right. No, I hear you, Rocky. I really appreciate that input. And I don't know if you've run across the Founded Earth Brothers. It used to be Flat Earth Brothers, but with the name Flat Earth in their title, they got way too shadow banned. Josh and his twin brother have been working on a lot of videos. Sean at Kingdom in Context is a place that you should go and go to playlists and go to Investigating Babylon. It's amazing stuff. Let's see. Hanging on His Words is a good place to go. West Blaze Music. But when you were talking about the Statue of Liberty, I'm just going to show you the very intro to this video. This is one of Josh's at the Founded Earth Brothers. It's called Who Are They and Why Did They Lie? It's like the complete series. I can drop the link in just a second. Look at how it opens up. That's Satan from 1795.
Yeah.
He overlays kind of the face, and then I'll let this play for just a minute because it just shows that over history, Helios, Satan, New Colossus. It's just crazy how much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and what I'm saying is there is a chain at the base of it, a broken chain. It's It's the symbol of Satan being loose, unchained from his thought. It's not that he was, it's just that his powers didn't work back then. Imagine not being deceived for 1,000 years, and how, I'm not saying that Christ came and reigned, that he maybe he was reigning from above on the throne. You know, he's on the throne. He's reigning through his body. The Christians are the body of Christ. Gives us the Holy Spirit, and we reign for 1,000 years. And everything was about glorifying Christ. You know, chivalry, how to be a, you know, chivalrous person. And but if you look at the Statue of Liberty, there's a chain around it. They're just telling us in our face, like this, for some reason they have to tell us, or I don't know what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just in your face. You know, then they had the Olympics, in your face, Satan worship, in your fucking face. You know, they're just like, can you not see you're being deceived by the whole world? You're in Revelations. The mud flood was Armageddon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff.
Research in the mud flood that just came out. What's this about? Okay, the mud flood. What is that? That's that part of history they never told us about. And then you got these Freemasons that they're founded. You know, Washington, D.C. was founded. You know, like they knew where the ley lines were, where Rome used to be, and it got flooded. So they founded it. So they're Freemasons. You get it?
Yep. Hey, let me take a break, Rocky, from all that gravy ladling. I appreciate you bringing that. Laz just joined, and see what you have to say, brother.
Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, sorry, I thought it was on mute. No, I really like everything you guys are talking about. I realized we got a lot of believers in here, not only FE, but Christians. So, you know, I'm Catholic myself. I wanted to get your guys' take on something, and see if you guys kind of have a background to this. So my mom had this for the longest time, and then she gave it to me. It didn't really mean much at the time, because I've never seen Jesus depicted like this. I think she might have gotten it in Thailand when she visited me in Korea. We went there. But I just wonder, have you guys ever seen this, and do you understand the symbolism in it? Like, it's making a lot more sense to me, and I can speak on that. But have you guys seen Jesus depicted like this, with all the eyes, with all the crosses, and I think there's even a saint there.
Not the eyes are depicted like that, but the facial positioning reminds me of the Shroud of Turin and the what they found with that.
That looks kind of, by the way.
What, Joe? Say again.
That looks kind of creepy, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what Laz. Break it down. What do you think about it?
So I mean, I remember when I first saw it, right, and it kind of threw me off. But for some reason, I was drawn to it, and in the end, she actually gave it to me. So I keep it right now at my place. But to me, there's like a lot more meaning in terms of, you know, whether you think about the Creator, God, Jesus, that He's everywhere at all times, and yeah, that it's all you have to do is look, right? Some people see a cross, and Him on a cross, they don't even see the face, right? But if you look much deeper, it's so. Anyway, I was just wondering if you guys saw that at all.
I think it's
like
interesting.
Me, they're trying to Are they trying to glorify Him? It looks like they're glorifying. Maybe I don't think that it's a sin to have like images of, as long as you don't worship Him. I mean, it's just an image. We don't know.
Yeah,
they're trying. Maybe they're Taiwanians are trying to identify Christ as in a good way.
Yeah,
and as long as you don't worship the images.
Yeah, and I saw this too. I went into a Sikh store nearby, like where my parents live, and they also had funny enough, of all the things they were selling, they had they had a painting of Jesus, which was the exact same one that I saw at my local church, Our Lady of the Airways there. And I was surprised that they were selling it, and they said, yeah.
You saw that in a Sikh store?
Yeah. Yep. It was just, and I asked them, like, how come you guys sell this? And they said, like, well, why wouldn't we? And you know, they asked, like, they didn't even have a price. They just said, it's what it's worth to you. So I think I gave him like $300, and I took it home. But it was a beautiful one, and it was the exact same one that the church had. Like I don't believe in like synchronicities, luck, any of that.
There's a church with one of those. There's a church with one of them.
There is. There's one here. It's called, so our area here in Mississauga, it's right by, so where my parents live, where I grew up, is right by an airport. So my middle school is Our Lady of the Airways, and there's also an Our Lady of the Airways church, which is a pretty funny name for a Catholic church. But yeah, so they actually have, I mean, they still have the, you know, they have the big cross, the crucifix, but they do have that image of Jesus. Not
So did they have the cross in the Sikh store as well?
No, they just
No.
had a picture. It was Jesus. I think he's putting out his hand, and there is a like a light coming from his hand. I think he's wearing like white and baby blue or something. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to ask my parents, but I know they likely still have it.
Well, I've had some run-ins with some Catholics, and I really don't want to talk about it because it's just nasty shit. I don't even want to talk about what I ran in with Catholics. And maybe at one time they weren't who they are now, like, and they're just, it's been corrupted. But, you know, like they tell us in the first century or the third century, they tell us in the third century that the Christians got together and created this Christendom, right? Christendom. But what if that was really the first century when that all started? And then, so history is so screwed. I think that during Satan's little season, they kind of stole the Catholic Church and just took it over, and now it's like,
I see it, and it's funny because I had a chance back in 2010 to visit the Vatican, and at the time I was completely unaware. But yeah, only in the last few years have I really seen like, wait a second, there's a lot to it, and I'm not sure when the switch was made. I think it's important to remember, I think you guys were talking about this earlier, is regardless of what religion, right? Like religion.
Well, the Vatican is just like every other capital. It has that capital Roman dome, like in DC, it's like Rome.
Yeah, it's old world.
Like Rome. All over the world, you have these Roman structures that you go to any nation and their capital is going to have a dome, just like Rome.
Yeah.
So that's just, was Rome worldwide? And they're not telling us it was worldwide. It wasn't in just this specific location in Italy, like, you know, the Greeks. I mean, not the Greeks, but the Vikings, who supposedly came in the 1000s and came to. Maybe the Vikings were Romans. Romans used Vikings, and so yeah, our history is all screwed up.
Yeah, I mean, it's his story, right?
I'll just say real quick that I think Rome never died. It basically adopted or adapted the Christian church and pushed it forward in Catholicism. But in the same way, I'm not gonna sit here and say that every Catholic's wrong or they're evil or whatever, dark. I do think that there's some strange things going on with the Vatican and the library underneath the Vatican. I think there's some strange, rituals or things that they do. But my whole position is every human being, no matter where they are today in their faith or their journey of life, because this life is quick. It's a vapor. It's a flash in a pan and it's gone tomorrow. I mean, if you were talking to me 20 years ago or 15 years ago, you wouldn't even recognize me, maybe physically. But if you saw the insides, how much have changed since I surrendered to the creator of this place and asked him to show me the way, not necessarily like read my Bible and then all of a sudden got like holier than thou and like I'm a better person because I read the scriptures and beat you with the Bible. Like none of that's appealing to me. What's appealing to me is surrendering all my aches and pains and frustrations and confusions over to the Creator day by day, moment by moment, and saying, Holy Spirit, at one point in my life, I said, Holy Spirit, if you're real, will you come into me, fill me, and show me how I should treat others? Show me how I should operate. And so that's my foundation, is trusting God above. And some people say the creator, some people say whoever made this place. That's what I'm tapping into. And, I do think it's the God of the Bible. I do think Yeshua is our high priest that, makes a way for us to have reconciliation with the Father. So I know a lot of people have bad feelings about Catholics or whatever. I mean, my wife, that's what she was born and raised into, but my wife's mom got in trouble in the Catholic Church for teaching the children how to pray from their hearts. And she was like, what? Because there are certain freedoms and there are certain things that aren't allowed. But she now just is like me. She just wants to follow the way, the truth, and the life, if that makes sense. So
I just want to say one thing on that, guys. So
Go ahead, Laz.
I was born Catholic. Regardless of everything, I still consider myself Catholic. My son goes to Catholic school. It's how I'm introducing him to religion. So regardless of what's happening in terms of the deception up there, like think of it like the CIA, right? It's like not every person in the CIA is a psychopath. It's usually like the top 5%. The rest are like, it's just their job. Some people are born into the religion, and this is how you understand. And yeah, Catholicism is completely different, and there's a lot of things really wrong with it. I cannot speak on any other denominations because honestly, I haven't spent enough time. What I do know is it has given me a baseline understanding of God, my relationship with God, the Bible, even though, they don't focus on the Bible as much as other denominations, but it has given me my own relationship with God. And without it, I don't know where I would have found that. So I think we're all kind of speaking the same language, but maybe in a different dialect. And that's kind of what they want us to do, is to be divisive of each other based on words.
No, thanks, Laz. That's great. I mean, if no one's noticed, we all have different backgrounds and we all believe different things about even what is creation or who is God. And I love that this place, my channel, is a place where we don't have to argue, even if we have differing beliefs. I love what everybody's put in today. I want to see if Paraplegic's mic's on. He's a good friend, makes amazing coffee. Paraplegic coffee, real good stuff. So try your mic real quick. If you're unmuted, say something. I don't hear you. You're kind of lighting up like you're talking, but no audio is coming through. Paraplegic, we're going to come back around. If you can maybe give your phone permission to share audio with this part of the app or whatever. And then Howard's back. I'm probably going to wrap it up pretty soon.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. We all probably should let him go run to the restroom.
Oh, me?
I was thinking, I bet you got to go.
Oh, it's not too bad. I mean, I'm an endurance athlete.
You get on live and you got to go, and you don't want to be rude. You don't want to shut anybody down. Everybody's got their points to make.
That's so funny.
I'm going to mute out because I am going to go to the restroom.
Yeah, do it. It's so funny you mentioned that because I have been on Discord before or, different. And it's like, oh, that person's totally peeing and they didn't mute up. It's so funny. It happens to all of us. I'll just say this real quick. I know that we went from TFE and what's going on and all this stuff. And then we went into this like meta and then God, who is God in our own faith and stuff like that. And sometimes people, they check out. They're like, that's not for me. I don't even want to talk about it. But today's been really amazing. I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't even going to go live. I wasn't even going to do this. But it's funny. The other day when I had Joe on, it ended up being like these spontaneous streams are kind of funny. I know people would probably like me to have a schedule like, hey, I'm going to go live here. And I'd have more people showing up if I did it that way. But I appreciate y'all for coming through and the people in the chat, like dropping lots of great comments, verses, ideas, thoughts, concerns. Like this is all fantastic. Here we got Paraplegic back. Let's see if we got audio, bro. Give it a shot.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. You're loud and clear. What do you want to share other than
just
roaster?
Cats listening to you guys with me, so I'm just gonna listen. But thanks for the invite, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna shut it
Good
down
to see
real
you, bro.
soon.
Yeah.
appreciate you being a light in the community. And for you, if y'all don't know, Bear Pelagic goes live on Instagram, and he puts up a lot of funny stuff. And he's got a good heart. And as I was mentioning, if you need coffee, he puts his phone number out there, and I might drop it in the chat in a second. If you ever wanted to try, he has organic options. And when it comes through, I mean, I think I've bought 7 or 9 pounds from him before. So yeah, he's a good source, as well as Toby's coffee is good as well. I try to bounce back and forth between these 2 roasters, Flat Earth roasters.
Yeah, love you, Brett.
Yeah, Brett's great. He's not going to contribute much as far as talking, and y'all start to go around doing like closing thoughts about today, TFE. I don't know, anything you want. Start going around, and then I will be right back to close down the whole thing. Thank y'all for showing up. And then let's just go me, and then let's go Matt, Rocky, Sam, Richard, if you're still here, Laz, Howard, Bear Pelagic, is gone. So just go in that order, and I'll see you in just a second.
All right, guys. This is great hopping on here. Thanks a lot, Run Boss and JT, for having this today. I really loved hearing everyone's experiences in life and their journey, back to Christ, because that's something that's, it's
Perlette wants to know where'd your awesome hat go.
it's a special thing, and I'm just glad we're all here and able to have this conversation. But thanks a lot, guys.
A1, man.
Yeah, thank you.
A1.
Thanks, everybody. I just, y'all looking for the truth, man. It looks like everybody's looking for the truth. And, I just say, if you find the truth, his name is fucking Jesus. Amen.
Amen, brother.
Amen,
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I think that the outside will continue to look for the truth. I think the globe side will probably rest on their laurels, thinking they'd have him. And but no, I think that the truth fears no investigation, so therefore we will keep investigating, and we'll probably get closer to the truth the more these sort of things happen. So
definitely.
Thanks, JT, for having me on, and I might go to bed in a minute since it's 6:30 a.m. I'll talk to you again. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, JT, for making us to share and exchange ideas. I think you're doing it in a wonderful way. I would just add, I think it's important, people, you cannot force the truth on people, unfortunately. People need to be willing to seek the truth, and it happens that there is we'll be touching 2 different things, but maybe they're connected in some way, the religious aspect of it and the flat earth community. You cannot force science on people, you cannot force Jesus Christ or scripture on people. We can just lead them with example. My own personal experience, I can share that. We can, and if they're strong enough and willing enough, they will try to seek the truth. I think this is why a lot of people push away from. They push very hard against flat Earth or even religion, even if they've been grown in the faith. They reject it because they've been, they try to force the scriptures on people, and some people are very zealous about what they think they are. They think they are in the spirit because they know every verse of the Bible, and we know that is not only. You need to have it in your heart. You need to be compassionate and not to judge people. There's only one person who can judge, and that is God. And still, we have a lot of people in this earth judging other people, talking about other people, and I think that takes us away from the truth. We are, let's be humble enough to understand we can be mistaken. We have ideas that can be wrong, and we need to, try to let other people be, and be there for them when they're ready to hear the truth. In flat Earth community, in science, and in religion, not assume that we are in the truth because we could be wrong. That's, I think, that's an important part to be humble. So, thank you for letting me share my experience. I hope, like, these kind of conversations help other people to seek the truth, be humble enough, and don't get dissuaded when they face extreme people, extreme on any side, on the globe earth, on the flat earth, on the religious aspects of it. Don't get dissuaded, because they're pushing you away from the truth. So seek it yourself from your heart. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
Well said. And I agree. As much as we can kind of step away and disassociate from even who we think we are in this 3D realm, our physical body, our name, I'm a father, brother, etc. I think it allows us a little more, just a little bit more awareness to seek the truth. And I just want to say, if any of you have had the displeasure of being in the court system, the truth is a very funny thing, because one side will say the sky is blue, the other side will say the sky is green, and the judge has to kind of take both arguments, but then eventually says, okay, the sky is periwinkle. So the truth is very, very subjective. And, we've talked about this a lot, that there's a difference between believing and then actually knowing, and then going a step further of understanding, and then coming back to a place of being, where you actually are what you believe, and you act in a way that is your truth. And a simple example, like I look at Sam, I look at his background, I believe, he makes his bed every morning, it looks very nice, but I have no way of knowing that until I get to know him. And the understanding and the being is way deeper than that. So I just think, like, as long as we're patient, especially with the globies or the people that don't have religion in their lives. I have some friends, and I just feel like shaking them, like, and they're going through rough times. But you can only kind of you can only nudge them in a non-judgmental way, and sometimes I feel like the truth eventually comes to all of us. It's just a matter of when and how, but it's always in the now. Thank you, JT, for this space.
Thank you too for all the comments so far, the closing comments. Howard, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, after all these years of this truth movement and stuff, looking at everything, like stepping back, taking a look at everything, knowing what we should look at, what we shouldn't look like at, depending on when it comes to only what's going to build our spirit. I think all the satire, the sensationalism, we should and I'm even starting to look at this thing with the mud flood and all that, to where it's not like a distraction, but it has caused me to spend a lot of time in it. And I think the most important topics, besides the left-right paradigm and all this stuff to do with anything to do with frequencies, we're electrical beings. We're held together by God's power. That's pressure mediation is why we're here, existing, why we have a reality, I believe. I believe he's omnipotent, omnipresent. He holds the fabric of this reality together, I think. And with that being said, who we are, where we're located, and why we are here is more than enough to keep us in a state of mind of a spiritual, resonant frequency, than all of that negative stuff that we see daily. Because I can tell you what, every time I put this one-eyed devil down and walk out in society, it looks normal. It's normal, y'all. You go run, you meet, y'all go run. As y'all are running, do y'all see any of that weird stuff when you're running? And just, do you see it? I'm asking you right now. Do you ever see it when you're running? Kinda, do you though? Unless somebody's fighting or something, but you get my point.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of it's blown out of proportion because it's an illusion. Mm-hmm. Not all totally, but that's just what I wanted to say. Who we are, where we're at, and what we're made of while we're here. Those are some of the major topics that I think, stepping back and taking a look at this thing, because once you start getting into those questions, it's going to lead you to creation, the Bible, and oh man, wrote the Word of God. But that's my biggest thing right now when I do my lives on Facebook. that I'm dealing with is man wrote the word of God.
Mhm.
That's one of the major ones. So, but anyway, I just wanted to come on and say that. Pray about anything that our children are going to be faced with when it comes to religion or anything. Just all you have to do is pray to God if it's the right path to be on, because sometimes, things happen for a purpose, and all you have to do is pray. So I'm not here to say if anybody's right or wrong. So just pray about it, and God will lead you and direct you in your ways. I'm telling you, He will change your heart. He's changed mine. Totally off of kratom now. Man, I was on it 7 years. Totally off of pain medicine. I don't do nothing I used to do because of the Bible and because of creation. And I'm still a work in
Congratulations, brother.
progress, So I'm still a work in progress. Thank you for this channel run. Thank you for the time that you've dedicated for spreading the truth and everything that you do, brother. I just want to say thank you, man. Y'all be blessed.
Man, I
God bless
appreciate it. I do appreciate the encouragement. I appreciate everybody showing up. I think Karen even made it into the stream. She's like, this all happened because Karen B was like, "Ooh, I got to go," and I was like, "Well, I'll stream." And then now she come back around for, support. So it's just really cool to see everybody, coming and going as they please and as they wish. And if sometimes topics aren't really their cup of tea, that's all right. It's totally fine. As everybody closed out, it was beautiful to hear, your closing remarks. And I mean, I know what it's like to go from confused and hurting and lost to found. And I'm just going to be praying over each one of y'all's journey forward. I'm going to be praying over your own development of self, not with the world's influence, because the world wants to tear us all down, wants to take our freedoms, wants us to be destroyed, basically wants us dead. And I mean, you should definitely purify your water, distill your water. I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to save you, but it definitely is better than drinking tap water for sure.
Yeah,
And eat cleaner if you can. Ground, take your shoes off, ground, meditate, get out there and move your body, go on walks, bike rides, whatever, swim. These different things are just things you can do with your spirit and your mind and your body to help you clear your mind and break the funk, because sometimes being stagnant is our worst enemy, especially before you go online and try to debate or talk about flat earth online, because you want to be bringing positivity, hope to people when you're talking, because they're scared. It's weird whenever you try to tell somebody that the earth isn't a spinning ball in space. So
yeah.
Thank you all for being here. I'm going to close out once again with Blair's song, No Matter Where Truth Leads. CMG sang this, so it's pretty good. And then come back by for another spontaneous stream. It'll be
God
good.
bless all of you.
Yep. Much love to all of you. And we'll see you next time. Later.
See you later. Gotta go.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Thanks, guys.
I will say one thing. I'm going to drop everybody off real quick. Kick and kick. So, I'm the host. Wait, what? I'm confused. This is interesting. I'm just trying to clear the panel. I'm glad everybody showed up. You cannot kick host camera. That's so funny.
What's going on?
I'm just trying to clear out everybody so I could play a song. But it looks like for you, it said I can't kick you because host camera or share out the stream. You cannot kick host camera or
I took over your stream.
You took it
God
over?
is all powerful. The Holy Spirit took over your stream. You can't get rid of me.
Let's see if I can mute you. Okay, I muted him, but he can probably unmute. That's kind of funny. I don't know what's up with this. Stop sharing. Anyway, all I was going to say is, different people, if let's just say if they cuss, right? If they cuss, that's where they are right now on their journey, right?
I'm sorry,
No, you're okay. Rocky, a couple people, because you said effing Jesus, they were like, whoa, this dude. And the thing is, using cuss words doesn't mean you're saved or not. It means that you cuss. My mom cusses.
Like
I don't hate her for it. You know what I mean?
Peter did that a lot too.
I heard Peter was cuss like a sailor. Well, anyway, I know that the tongue is like a rudder, right? The whole ship. So I know if there was like little kids around you, you wouldn't cuss, you wouldn't drop F-bombs or
Right,
whatever.
right. I should try to be better representation of myself. If I'm going to be speaking about Jesus and stuff, but I'm sorry about that. I apologize if I offended anybody, but I'm a Marine and I grew up, you know, you can't talk like a sissy to a bunch of Marines. You guys are a bunch of pussies. I'm sorry, I said it again. Gosh, Dad. Oh, shoot. Oh, my goodness.
Bro, listen.
I better get out of here.
Let me tell you something before you go. Let me tell you something before you go. You know, this is my stream. I love you, brother. You didn't offend me. I've heard language my whole life. I know that people usually don't put, you know, cuss words right before Jesus or whatever, but you are where you are, dude. You are where you are today, and none of us are done. A friend of mine who runs the channel Flat Earth and Coffee, he says we're all like cookies, man. We're all in the oven. None of us are done baking. So like I said earlier, I don't have any judgment for you. And so peace be with you. Thank you for everything you brought to the stream. Don't feel, when you leave, don't feel bad like you made some huge mistake. Just know that that I used to cuss every other word, and I used to be perverted. My mind would just instantly go to like a dirty joke because I knew it would make the whole room laugh. I was like a class clown, and it took years to stop having a perverse mind. And my eyes would just look at everything it wasn't supposed to look at. But I guess I'm just trying to say here at the end, any kind of like weakness that you might have, it's all fixable, just day by day, moment by moment. I was saying it to the chat, like, you're our brother. Like, I can't wait to spend eternity with you, man. So don't feel judged. But yeah, that was a small correction. See if whenever you're talking about Jesus specifically, maybe don't cuss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome, bro. Well, I'm gonna play a song. It looks like I can't kick you, so
I'll kick myself. But
oh, there you go. If you want to, let me get it back up because I tried to exit everything out to see why you were still here. But you know what's funny? You were still here, so we could finish that final little conversation, which is awesome. And I appreciate you having grace, not being mad at me for even saying some of that stuff. All right, share with audio. Give me a 5x5 if you can hear this show on stream. Let me know if you can hear this, guys.
They say it's easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled. So can you be open to the possibility that we'll all be misled and lied to? If they're not